Hey, we're here, and my audio seems to be working. Why don't you guys say something and see if your audio is working as well? Oh, it's not. It's not working. Let me have a look and see perhaps why it is not working. Speakers. Because, it wouldn't be a Wily Hobbit stream without. Say stuff now. You're still not showing up. Yeah, I gotta bump my gain a little bit. And, yeah, it's been a while. We're a little rusty here at Bag End. But I still don't have sound for you guys. But I will shortly. I'm just working my way toward that goal. I mean, y'all could do that. That's still don't have that audio for you guys. That's weird. Let's see what's going on in Zoom. Go ahead and say stuff. Huh. Still not there. That is so weird. Well, it's, like I said, it wouldn't be a Wily Hobbit stream if we didn't have some minor configurability. Go ahead and say stuff again.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. All right.
Stuff again.
Hey!
Stuff again.
Stuff again.
Stuff again.
Snuffleupagus again. Okay.
Well, too
There
bad
he
you
is.
missed
We
all the
almost-
really good stuff while you couldn't
Yeah,
hear
well,
us.
stream's over, but we got audio.
We leveled up. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah, we definitely didn't level up. All right, so we're here on these here internets, and I think we're gonna try some D&D. This is a little D&D experiment, something a little away from what we've been doing the last, golly, it's been almost 5 years since I started streaming. Can you believe that? Actually, probably
No.
right about now-ish, about 5 years ago. So instead of having like 5, 6 players, we're going to go 2 players. And the DM will have to obviously be a little more interactive with NPCs and things. So we're just trying a little bit different way of D&Ding. DM and 2 dudes. So let's do this. Let's meet the 2 dudes. And we'll start with, let's see, B before Q. So I guess we'll start with Blarg.
Be before you.
That's my
Hey,
reasoning.
everybody. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm Chris, WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. I play Blarg, who is oh boy, I always have to look at my notes, and I didn't. He's a goblin, rogue, mastermind, expert linguist. I think I got it right. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, wow, this guy loves to just cheat and make the most powerful characters he can think of, and you'd be absolutely right. And hopefully you'll see some of that amazing power, linguistic expert power on display today.
A min-maxed linguist.
Yep.
Is there no end to your creativity?
Nope.
Knows no bounds.
Well, this may be the end.
We may have reached it. Yeah.
Peaked.
This may be
That's
it.
awesome right there. That's it. We're out. I'm out.
That's all I got.
Awesome. Very good. Quinn Liver. Carl, what's up, man?
Oh, it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Yay.
Okay, good to
Oh.
meet you. So, getting into the game. No,
Uh,
just kidding.
Anyway, hello, friends, both of you that are on the stream. Yes, I'm Carl. I'm Carnage on the Discord and such. Today I am playing Quinliver Woodgirder, Furbog, Swarmkeeper, Ranger, kind of country simpleton, likes the woods, wants to be in the woods, and just he's all about the woods.
All
That's
about
it.
them woods.
All about them woods.
All about it. Country simpleton. I like that. I feel like my gain's up too high. Let me get my audio level's low. I'm still working on that, so bear with me. Test your mic. Oh, there's not really a setting for that. Okay. Well, okay. So I guess we're where we're going to be with levels for whatever reason. So, okay. So let's play D&D, shall we? We've met our characters, Blarg and Quinliver. I'll be your dungeon master, and I'll be playing any one of numerous NPCs. Thank you, gentlemen, both for subscribing. Not only are you our players, but you're also our audience and our entire community. So no pressure, but it makes it easy to interact with chat because, well, nothing's happening in chat, so, which is totally
We can do it
totally
all.
cool and fine. Yeah, it's totally
Hmm.
fine. This is fine. This is fine. All right. So, um, when last we played, it was session one, and this is only session two. If you have a gander at the little map we've got up on the screen, and that map, just going to go ahead and drop it in chat. I think this is the command. We'll find out. It is. Look at that. And the commands are working. Anna Beemeyer, the mistress of maps for the Greyhawk community, has created a beautiful map. And so we are in the kind of the southwestern Flanaess in the Kingdom of Alyssa. The area is called Neri. And the little red dot that you could probably barely see there, but the little red dot indicates the location of the keep under the eaves. And last session we got started. Blarg and Quinliver met up. They had both come to the keep on a bit of a mission, albeit different missions, but those two missions ran them together, and they found themselves in a meeting with the castellan of the keep, one Ferric. And if any of you old timer Greyhawkians, recognize that name, Ferec, Ferric the Castellan, you'll know right away that we're actually using the keep on the Borderlands as the basis for our keep under the eaves. But at any rate, way down south here in Dixie, if you will, in the Flanaess, it's been quiet for the last couple of decades, really. This is part of the world that had seen some serious strife back in the days before, leading up to, during, and shortly after the Greyhawk Wars. And the level of strife here is primarily at the hands of an organization known across the Flanaess as the Scarlet Brotherhood, as they are headquartered well south and west of here, out on their little peninsula. So at any rate, but it's been quiet here the last probably 20 or so years. But in recent days, weeks even, there have been some odd passers through the Minnowood Forest where Quinliver calls home. And in fact, Quinliver stumbled across one of the great druids of the Minnowood and had to help him as he and his small band of younger druids, acolytes, had been set upon by some orc kind. The acolytes had been slain. The great druid himself was in some dire straits, but Quinliver, and I think weren't some of your family or tribe with you, Mr. Quinliver?
Uh, Possibly. It didn't
So at
really
any rate,
say. Sure.
you all
Let's
kind
go
of
with that.
came in and saved the day. And the great
His
druid
other
gave
his
you
other brother,
his other brother named Quinliver. Yeah.
Quinliver.
The great druid had given you a scroll to deliver to Ferric to take word to him of the odd happenings. It's just not typical that you see orcs and orogs tromping through the human lands, the settled lands, if you will, terribly frequently. There have been some small groups coming through, sometimes with a couple of dwarves in hand. This particular group had some different folk, some different fellers, as Quinliver would say, that no one seems to be able to clearly describe or recognize. And that's kind of the messaging from the Great Druid. Blark had been asked to visit the keep on behalf of his friend Sir Roderick and his association with the Knights Protectors, if I remember correctly, Blark, is that right?
Yep.
And you were instructed to seek out a friend of the forest to commiserate, coordinate, whatever. And it turns out that this friend of the forest is none other than our Furbolgian wizard friend Quinliver, the wizard.
Not no
Not
wizard.
actually a wizard. That's a kind of a bad inside joke from another game that will be rejoining us soon. Actually, it's exciting. So the two now heroes, or soon to be, or possibly could be, or maybe end up dead. Who knows? But they've kind of joined forces, connected with Ferric, and they've been asked to see if they can't locate, track, find, observe, whatever might need to be done. This group of orc kind. The numbers are 4 orcs, a couple of orogs, and they believe there are 3 of these other folk. They're kind of diminutive, greenish gray, hard to, not a lot of detail from anyone who saw the group. But the idea is that Blarg and Quinliver might track and find and observe, learn what they can, see if they can figure out where they're coming from, where they're going, what's their purpose, so on and so forth. And Ferric, in his wisdom, has enlisted the help of one Fandle Rockhound Penlock, who is a frequent visitor to the keep, a resident of these here parts, a gnome of some mystery. Not everyone knows his tale. The gnome is acquainted with the great druid. Quinliver had heard of some rockhound gnome, and at the keep, the gnome, aside from his propensity for ale and good food and tall tales, is also known to be a fairly reputable orc hunter. Not necessarily a sunny disposition. In fact, the original meetup with Rockhound and Blarg and Quinliver maybe didn't go as well as it could have at the what was that? The scattered goat, the smattered,
Stretched goat.
the stretched goat. Yes, that's the small tavern that is within the safe walls of the keep. But at any rate, Ferric suggested that Rockhound accompany Blarg and Quinliver because of Rockhound's skill in dealing with, dispatching, tracking. He's an orc hunter of some reputation. And so our scene will open today. The date is the 6th, I believe. Let me just verify that. It is the 6th, Earth Day, the 6th of Flock Time. Flock Time being the 5th month in the Greyhawk calendar. And our party is about to exit the keep under the eaves. I can, in fact, bring up a little map of said keep for you in stream, albeit we're going to be leaving it shortly. I'll close that one and open that. So there's the keep. And so we find ourselves with Blarg, Quinliver, and Rockhound as they exit the gate on the eastern wall of the keep and begin to follow the winding stony trail. The keep sits up on a bit of almost like a mesa or a flat plateau above the forest, and you can see in the regional map again. I'll put that back on stream. The little red dot near that border, near the river, on the northwestern edges of the Mennowood. You see that M in the map? That's for Mennowood. That is where our adventure will begin today. And so the very first little glow over the eastern horizon, over the Mennowood itself, begins to make itself visible as the three of you stand and shiver off the damp chill of an early flock time morning. And you see Rockhound kind of scratches his midsection, yawns, pulls out a short little pipe, and packs in some leaf, and he packs it, and he begins to light it, and he just kind of looks at the two of you over his nose.
Quinliver's he's gonna be stretching, probably be he got those moths of his swarm just fluttering all around him. He'll be brushing straw off because he very likely slept in the stables, because just not like those comfy beds people keep talking about. They're just not good for your back. So he's got straw flying as he's brushing off, and then he pulls out this bottle and takes the top off and just starts taking some big gulps of it. And then he kind of looks down at Blarg and, wait, you want some coffee? And he wipes off the rim and offers the bottle to you.
No,
It's hazelnut.
yeah. No, I don't think I want that. I had some before I got here. I think we should think about what we're doing today, and make sure that we follow when we find these guys. Let's follow them and see where they go. Not necessarily, kill them right away. For those of us who might be inclined to do that.
Rockhound's head He turns and snaps his head towards you, looking at you like you just crawled out of a moon landing or some sort of piece of equipment foreign to these parts. I'm not much for following, only to get me to the point where I can strangle them, run them through.
Well,
Oh,
well,
oh, no, Rock Dog. I think what he's saying is, if we follow them to where there's more of them, then we can kill more of them.
He looks at you
that's,
guys.
And
Well,
then I'll offer him some coffee.
I don't know much about you all in a fight, but I mean, I know what I can do, but I don't want to get in over my head and have too many. I find it best to take 'em as I find 'em and gut 'em and hang 'em from a tree, lest that be a warning to any others who might think it wise to come in these parts.
You're the feller who's been doing all that. Huh.
One and the same. And he holds up a ungauntleted fist that almost looks like rock. It's got cracks, kind of earth toned. The other arm, and it's
You
his
need to
it's
moisturize.
his left arm. The other one is fully gauntleted. He's got a kind of a jerkin with a belt, a kind of a wooden carved breastplate, has the image of a beautiful tree upon it, and it's got these shoulder pieces that are like they look like thick vines or maybe very pliable branches. So somehow this almost living wood has been incorporated into his outfit. Very, very, very natural looking.
well, and I think that's probably a good strategy most of the time. But I'm just saying that for now, we need to find out where these folks are taking these little short weird folks. So not killing them right away is probably the best way to achieve that goal.
Ooh, we could kill some of them and let some get away.
See that? He takes a couple of draws off of his pipe. I like the way you think. He's looking up at you.
I do too. And then he takes another big swig of coffee.
Well, I guess the first order of business is finding them.
That it is. Well, the sun will
let's
be
get
up
going.
soon. We should be under the eaves of the Minnewood before the sun comes out. So let's get on our way.
Let's do it. I'm ready to go.
Quinn Liver just starts walking. Then he looks back. You all coming?
I'll follow him if he's going in the right direction.
Yeah, he's heading. He is. I'm having mic problems. That's why my audio is bad.
Yeah, you just went soft. I can still hear you a bit.
Yeah, it's. I'm having issues here.
No, that's better.
Yeah. Okay. My. I think I'm gonna have to get a new mic. I think this one's expiring. Okay. Now I'm pegging red. That's way too much. Okay. So he does, in fact, amble, follow down the road, and at the first opportunity turns eastward. Kind of waits for you guys. Doesn't seem to be in any particular hurry. Um, yeah, Ferrick says some of them scouts there's spotted them. So we should take the route them scouts take into the woods, except maybe head further south to try and intercept or cut them off. Be my reckoning.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
Those sound like a good plan.
Do you guys want to establish sort of a marching order? Do you want to walk sort of in a clump, or maybe walk abreast?
Did well. Let's. Who's the good tracker?
I know for my part, playing Penlock or playing Fandle Penlock, Rockhound, he does have a +7 survival, but I do not wish to encroach upon your um, agency characters. So Quinliver, I don't know, you're kind of a woodsman, aren't you?
Yep. I'm a +6 survival. So
So he could assist you, and then that will grant you
sure,
advantage if we're going to start tracking.
sure.
The Ferric had told you that the scouts first encountered the party of orc kind in the northern part of the forest, toward the Druid's Grove, and I'm gonna put a map into Discord for our players. I have another version of the regional map, and then I'll drop it on screen here. But this map, guys, shows a green dot where the Druid's Grove happens to be located. So
Yeah, we should also check on that druid feller too.
let me just get that map into Discord for you, and then I'll put it on screen on stream here. Keep and Druid's Grove, yeah. So again, the red dot is where the keep is, and then almost straight east of there should be a green dot indicating the location of the Druid's Grove. Let's see if I can make that a little bigger. There it is. And it's kind of between there where the scouts last, or excuse me, encountered the orc kind in their little caravan. You guys see that okay?
Yeah, I can see the red and the green down.
Okay. That's my
So somewhere in the middle of that,
technical
you said,
cartography. Yeah. Yeah, and so it makes sense because it's been a good day. They're headed generally southward, was from what the scouts were able to observe. So, um, they're probably further south than that at this point. So go ahead and decide which way you want to head, and we'll begin. You'll plunge into the darkness of the Mennowood Forest.
What's to the south of that, Quinliver? Do you know? Like, what's in the south of the forest? Is there anything?
Oh, there's all kinds of things. There's wolves. There's snakes. There's there's like bugs. A lot of bugs.
Well, I meant like something like a landmark, like somewhere that like people might hide, or a village, or I don't know, a shack.
Would there be a shack or a village or anything?
Well, it's a kind of a wasteland from the Mennowood through the rocky area there south, the mountainous. It's very desolate, mountainous, beautiful lake, as you see there on the map on the border. Um, let me.
I mean, there's not a lot of villages or towns or anything. I mean, there are some like some cabins and such every now and then, but when them Scarlet Brother fellers were trying to make shortcuts through our woods, we just sort of just try to keep everybody out.
The land really south and to the east, there's this mountainous region, the county of Stalwart, and I did finally, actually, I hit send in Discord, so now the map is actually in Discord. You see on the eastern border, on the eastern trade road, that white line there. The red and orange are borders. The white are roads. There's the town of Longwood all the way to the east in Stalwart, but that whole area is just desolate. There's nothing settled. It's dangerous. It's mountainous. A lot of forestation. You see a few rivers there, and then beyond that, to the southeast, is the horrible, horrible vast swamp, home to none other than the Tomb of Horrors itself, which is lovely this time of year. So it is desolate all the way down into the peninsula where the Scarlet Brotherhood holds sway.
Well, why don't let's do what Rockhound suggested and sort of head south, but cut it off a little bit so that let's estimate where we think they might have gotten, so that we can try to cut them off or meet up with them or something like that.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Rockhound nods. Yeah. Let me give you a bit of description. This is from Living Greyhawk, just a little bit of info about the Mennowood. And this is, I think, kind of common knowledge. So, Blard, maybe Sir Roderick might have kind of filled you in on this, or the Knight Protectors. But so the Mennowood, this virgin wood, lies between Alyssa's Principality of Neyri and Sundi, but is part of neither. Once the domain of a powerful druid called Sverdras Menno, hence Mennowood. It is still the home to ancient Trents, Sylvan elves, and dark fairy folk such as Spriggans and Quicklings who hate humanity. So Dark Fae have a presence here, which would indicate probably some access to the Feywild must exist if there are dark fairies here. Um, Not particularly hospitable to the average goblinoid or human, but the Furbolg makes Mennowood his home and there are numerous tribes of sylvan type creatures, but again monsters. It's very much dangerous, unsettled, and largely unexplored, save for the inhabitants who live there. And it's so much so that neither Neri or Sindhi count it as part of their kingdom, because no one goes there. There hasn't been a purpose for doing so, which was what makes it so odd that the past several months there have been these sightings of orc kind escorting dwarves, and then this new group of odd folk, fellers, if you will, through the region is just really not common.
Well, let's set off towards the south. See if we can't pick up the trail.
Those sound good.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this wrapped up quickly. I got some other business I'd like to maybe invite you to attend to with me. I found a cavern full of the damn things up the river there as you get into the Mennowood. But we can look at that after we take care of this job for the Castellan.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I like the sound of that.
and Mark, if we go south far enough, we will come to a real nice lake, and it is a good place to take a bath if you haven't had one for a few months.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I mean,
Okay,
that's on the list somewhere.
just letting you know,
In our,
because
on
sometimes it don't rain for a long time, and then you gotta take matters in your own hands and go take a bath instead of just standing in the rain. So.
Yeah, that's definitely on Blarg's to-do list somewhere. Let's see if we can't pick up the trail though, and find these guys and see what we've got going on.
So, with that, you plunge ahead, following the scouts' trail, which is very clearly marked by heavily trodden turf, um, and it finds its way into the Mennowood, winding eastward. But it's not long before that trail kind of splits. One goes almost due east. You would presume that's probably um, the most easterly. Have I been spelling that wrong, Carl? Quin Quin
LVVR.
Liver Quin Liver. Well, shit. I'm gonna have to look into that. Um,
LV, no I guess.
yeah, I've dropped a
Right.
couple eyes in there a couple times. I got just doing all kind of silly.
Complicated.
It is well
That
for a
makes sense.
simple hobbit like myself. It is, but I'll tend to that. Um, so you again, it's early, it's misty. The dawn really kind of takes the form of lighter darkness, lighter gray, and before you know it, you find yourselves entering the dense Mennowood forest. There is a river. If you look on your map, there's a river south of the keep that, for a time, actually goes to the southeast, and so Rockhound will maybe make a point to, well, maybe we follow that river that goes southeast and takes us in, and it's a natural game trail. And if I were tromping through the Mennowood with prisoners or whatever that be, I'd be making for some good water source at some point. Of course, I'm a lot smarter than them stupid orc kind, but what do y'all think?
Yeah, no, I think that sounds like a good idea to me. Let's stick to the river and see what we can find.
As we kind of start to enter into the, get into the woods, Quinn River's just gonna like start smelling and just kind of like, oh, Smells like home. And he's gonna go over and put his hand on one of the trees and go, "Hello, tree. Hey, you see anything suspicious around here?" And using his speak with plants and animals. I don't really understand. They don't really talk back to me, but it's an ability I have that I can talk to trees. So I will utilize that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then I'll come back and I'm like, well, so the trees said they ain't really seen anything here recently, but you got to understand that for trees, they don't really understand time. So recently could be anywhere from the last hour to like 200, 300 years.
Wow, that's very valuable information you just provided
Yeah.
us.
Yep.
So
Yep. I'll check with some others as we're going along.
yeah, that's probably a great idea, and that'll probably turn out to be real helpful. The one
Yep.
thing you notice about Blarg is when you started the journey with him, his cloak was the same as it was yesterday when you met him. It was a black hooded cloak. As he enters the forest, it changes into a more greenish, brownish, kind of camouflagey like cloak.
And what,
Was he?
pray tell, is the source of that
He has a cloak.
mysticalness?
He has two cloaks actually, but he's the one he's currently wearing. Is a wait a minute. I gotta find it. Oh, I've forgotten how to play D&D. It's sad
It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
because somewhere on here is my list of magic items to which I am attuned, and but now I can't find. Oh, here it is. Um, he has a. I guess I'm not even attuned to it. Oh man, hang on. It's here. I promise. It's a cloak of many fashions.
Oh,
He has a cloak of many fashions, so it can change. He can change its appearance.
nice. That's cool. Quinliver,
It's not
you're
as nice as his cloak of displacement.
not, no, not nearly. The band Cloak of Displacement, that one?
Yeah, well, it's still in his inventory.
Quinliver,
Mm-hmm.
Ranger,
Yes, yes,
level
I am.
5.
I
And
am. I
what's it
am.
called? Swarm Masters?
Swarm Keeper.
Swarm Liquor? Wait. Swarm Keeper. Okay, I'm getting your command because I just feel terrible that it's not already there. I feel like.
Well, we weren't sure he
And
would make it this far.
Right, right.
made it past the first adventure, session one. Time to
Okay.
add me to the roster.
Made it past the keep scene, the
That's right.
getting to know everybody.
Didn't get killed in the tavern. Wow,
Yeah,
who
we
knew?
weren't sure it
We're
was going to
there.
happen.
We're there. We got there.
And Quinliver's cloak, you also notice it's like greens and browns, but they seem to kind of shift around a little
Yeah.
bit. So kind of as he's kind of helping to kind of just blend in a little bit with the background, especially here in the woods,
Okay, I'll bite.
Yeah.
Why is your cloak shifting around and
because some call it a nature's mantle.
Oh, I
some
thought
So
it was a
some
cloak of
do?
displacement
Yeah, I
too,
was
because I
waiting
was
for
thinking
it.
mine does that too.
Yeah.
well, do it for
Mm.
different reasons. But
Very nice. Great. And Rockhound would have probably noticed this and been quite curious, maybe even come up and inspected as he's, blows smoke probably right in Blarg's face, and it kind of rises up and catches the furbolg because you're what, 7'6",
7'4".
7'4", yeah, and the gnome is gnome sized. Um, so you mean to tell me you just had a conversation with them trees over there?
Well, yeah, did you don't do that?
Well, not normally. No, I speak a lot with animals and not
Well, I
really
can do that too,
much with
you know,
trees, mind you.
little trees, bushes, well, they're always here, so they're always kind of watching out what's going on. But like I said, they don't really understand time, so hours, months, years. They don't. They're not real good at keeping track.
See. Well, and he utters something in a language that neither of you understand and makes a gesture. And this little image of clouds appears above his head, and he kind of strokes his chin. And he's got a very thick mustache and sort of a large soul patch that comes from beneath his bottom lip and actually from his chin proper. And the mustache kind of overlays above it. And he's got this bulbous nose and big bushy eyebrows, long dark hair, And he looks up at it, and he scritches his soul patch, takes a puff from his pipe, which is no longer lit. Yeah, gonna be cloudy today, looks like. And he kind of and blows it away. Should be a good day for travel. I don't think we're going to get too wet. Of course, the canopy here, and you look up and it's really dense. All deciduous trees at this point. A lot of aspens, elms, oaks, maples, things you'd expect to see in a very, very green sylvan forest. Vines. Again, you're on the Scouts Path, headed due east in the direction of the Druid's Grove presently, but it sounds like you may try to take a turn to catch the river. Is that
Yeah, I think that's the
That's the
plan.
plan.
okay? So, yeah, anytime you want to make any kind of like survival or perception Quinliver, go ahead and roll it at advantage because Rockhound is also attempting to track and locate, any signs of the passing of this group of orc kind and their mysterious companions.
Survival or what? Perception?
Survival or perception, anything that you do, maybe even
It's the
investigation,
same.
that you're
Investigation.
trying to understand your surroundings or do any tracking or searching of any kind.
Yeah, we're not gonna use investigation. That's not one of his strengths. With advantage.
Hey Wilson, what's up, man? Thank you for the sub, brother. Appreciate you. So that
We've got an audience.
we now, yeah, we have a Blarg's offspring. I think is lurking in the
Oh
chat as
yeah,
well. Yeah. So
Oh, I missed that.
and
the
you're up,
Bard Junior.
Blarg Junior. You're up to 9+2. So
Nice.
any
Sweet.
any D20 rolls, if you wish to add a +2, you may do so.
I made
Thanks, Dave.
yeah.
All right, so you turn to the
Rolled a
south after maybe a mile or two into the forest in hopes of intercepting the trail or the group itself. I picture kind of Quinliver and Rockhound working their way through. Very handy for the diminutive gnomish frame of Rockhound, Mr. Penlock, because Quinliver cuts a pretty serious swath through the brush when there is such in the brambles, and it makes it easier for the smaller folk to pass as long as they remain relatively close behind.
I rolled a 22 on the survival check there.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, you're familiar with this part of the Minnowwood. Looking on the map, Carl, do you want to point out maybe where Quinliver hails from geographically? I don't know if you've discovered that or decided that yet, but
Probably kind of just again, his like he says, his clans lived here for generations, and there's because it Furbolg's lived to be like 900 something. He's got several generations. All they kind of break it up into like areas they patrol, and then they come together every now and then. But probably I don't know how many other. I mean, there's sounds like there's probably other Furbog clans in the woods too. So they probably kind of stick to the western half there, up to that
mm-hmm.
kind of around where the red line is, sort of
Got you. Yep.
roam
Red
around.
Line and West, various locations. Now, does your tribe or clan move around, or is it nomadic, or do you have an area where you
Oh, they
typically?
well they've kind of got an area probably kind of down near the lake where they get together every so often just to come all together. But otherwise, they kind of just as he said before, they just kind of go on they kind of their areas they patrol, and then they'll sort of every now and then overlap and kind of just touch base with whoever they bump into, and then they'll continue on,
Mm-hmm.
just keeping a wary eye out for anything suspicious in their woods.
Absolutely. Very good. All right. And Blarg, just as a matter of interest for our viewing public here, where do you hail from again? I know it's kind of to the north.
Yep. So Blarg is originally from the Griff Mountains in that region,
Way up
and
north.
he left that area when he was you know old enough to leave the area, and he
Right.
ventured out into more lands to the south.
Nice. And so here we are. So you're not particularly following any, there's no real trail to follow at this point. You're just kind of going overland. It is rocky and hilly in places, large rocks, kind of pop out of the earth here and there. Even great drifts of earth where there might be an overhang or a dark opening under a tree that grows above it, for maybe a small cave or cavern or goodness knows what lives in there. Again, all ground that I wouldn't say Quinliver you recognize it specifically, but the topography is very familiar to you as far as this is your home place, the type of topography you're accustomed to seeing. And as you delve further toward the south, trying again to come across the river that will take you southward, the forest just it thickens. Um, some of these trees are just ancient, huge trees. As you get in deeper, you see more frequently large groves of pine and other evergreens, um, and it is just a dense forest. But you're able to pick your way through it as a skilled woodsman. It's not impassable. Although you've heard legend that if the forest didn't want you to pass, it would find a way to see that you are unable to do so, whether it be a flat out blockade of some kind or perhaps unbeknownst to you, but leading you around. And you've heard of people just vanishing into the Minowood, especially the eastern half, where it meets the mountain range there, the south border of the Minowood. Very dark, mysterious. One of the smaller forests in the Flanness, but no shortage of strange tales and mystery in within the eaves. Um,
And that's kind of why every now and then Quinn just like he walks off and just like puts hands on some of the older trees and just kind of talks to them, just kind of gauging their attitude, quote unquote, such as it is. Just letting them know they're we're all friends here. So
and
You should say something sappy.
just as a hey Doc Shoulder, what's up, man? Thanks for the sub. That's another
Woo.
+2.
Hey,
Um,
Doc.
our audience
just
doubled.
just for just for reckoning's sake, looking at that map, if you go from the red dot, which is the keep, to the border where the vast swamp begins, that's probably 10 to 12 days travel if you were to go roughly overland, taking what the land gives you in the form of hospitable travel route. Hey, and thanks for those bits, man. Very, very much appreciated. Good to see everybody. So just to give you an idea of reckoning, you're going to guess just, by triangulation, it may take you a couple of sleeps to catch up to this group based on what the scouts reported um, when they observed their motions and pace through the woods. Um, that it may take a couple sleeps to get where you think you might be able to encounter them, but you're hoping that moving along the river will afford you some haste, just because the forest opens up quite a bit along the river and it becomes an easier track to follow. A lot of game follow that. A lot of the inhabitants use the river to get to the trade road that ultimately arrives in Nayri City. But yeah, based on how rugged the land is, and how impassable it can be, that trip to the vast swamp, is 10 to 12 days. If the weather turns poor for an extended time, or you find yourself in a difficult spot, it could take up to 2 weeks to get there. So that just gives you a little visual reckoning of time and distance.
And that vast swamp, that's not part of any kingdom, is it?
No,
It's
it's
done.
it's its own
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, the vast swamp, tales of horror, rumors of Wastry, legends of the great bullywug deity, troglodyte, lizard folk, sort of gnarly, nasty place. And again, I believe what Tomb of Horrors, that was a Sararak, I believe. So not a pleasant place. Makes a very fine north border for anyone living south of there who wishes their activities to be unknown and unwatched, at least
Yeah.
from land. like, I don't know, the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. So travel
Okay.
wise, with the Furbolg leading and Rockhound, and he'll stop and he'll go off a few yards to one direction or the other, just looking and sniffing about. Um, Maybe disappearing for 2, 3, 4 minutes unless one of you follows him. Doc, we're down in the Kingdom of Alyssa. What I really need to do is get a larger map um, and bring that in. So I will work on doing that so that you can see um, context as far as where we are in the Flennis. But yeah, every now and then he will go off to the left, off to the right without warning, just disappear, and he
Boy,
returns a few
that
minutes
that
later.
feller that feller's got a small bladder.
A gnome's got to do what a gnome's got to do, I guess.
Well, strange thing is, he has not had near as much coffee as I have, but
But maybe it'll make him less angry.
oh, I got a feeling that's not likely.
Well, I'm hoping.
Oh, and every now and then, whenever we'll be in teaching, throwing information at Barg about, like what poison ivy looks like, and because I can tell by your fancy attire there, Barg, especially them real nice house slippers that you got on, that you probably don't spend a lot of time out here in the woods. So yeah, so you gotta watch out because some of them like these, like with the points. And he's just sort of making vague hand gestures. Like you'll get real itchy if you touch that, so you don't want to do that.
Well, again, that's good information. Glad you gave that to me.
Mhm.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and wolves. Wolves, yeah. If you see any wolves, now, wolves, basically, these are all friendly puppers. They like chin scritches and belly rubs, but they will eat goblins on sight. So if you see any wolves, you might want to, like, just kind of stick by me because I'll tell them that you are not an eaten goblin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Tell him I have a lot of gristle.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll know what that is, or that they'll
Well,
really care, but I'll just tell them that you're a friend of mine. So then they'll leave
yeah,
you alone.
yeah. Well, okay. Whatever works. That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
that sounds fine too. Yeah.
For context, got a little bit bigger map up, so this will kind of help as far as what region of the Flyness. We are right in here. I don't know if anybody can. I don't know if you can really see my. There it is, where my little hand is. That's Neri, the capital of the province of the Kingdom of Alyssa, where our game is set. And zooming in there, you see Sundi. This right here is the vast swamp. Here's the Mennewood. This is the county of Stalward. And then if you go downward, this is the Tilvanot Peninsula, wherein lies the. It's best not to speak it aloud.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. The party started right up in here, where the keep is, and they're currently headed down to find this river. And again, thanks to Anna B. Meyer and her incredible cartography skills and computer skills for having these really cool maps for us.
It's good stuff.
So I've been wandering off and looking for berries and the like, and I still haven't picked up any tracks on them orc folk. Orc kind.
I have not seen any either.
Yeah.
Are you finding some good eating berries though?
Nope.
Oh,
Nothing here.
oh yeah.
It's a little early in the season.
Bart, you should know there's really four main kinds of berries. Okay, you got your eaten berries. They're kind of like usually blue or green, and sometimes they're like a light red. And then you got your healing berries. Okay, and those are good. You can like mix them up with some herbs and such, and they'll like help heal wounds. Those are kind of like a blue and a green, and sometimes they're a little red. And then you got your squirts berries. Okay, you want to avoid those because they'll basically if you eat too many, they'll give you the squirts for about 2 to 3 hours, and it's not fun.
No,
Now
that sounds
those
pretty
the
bad.
way you tell those though, they either like green or sometimes they're blue, and there's a few strains that are a little bit reddish. Um, and then finally there's the kill you berries, and basically if you eat too many of those, they'll kill you. those are usually like a real dark red or real dark blue. So you just gotta know your berries, okay?
Yeah, it sounds like they're all pretty much the same color. So
Well,
I think what I'm going to do is kind of stick to like rations.
okay. Well, I can show you which ones are the good eating berries.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you
Yeah.
covered. I know what to eat, what not to eat. I've been trumping these parts for
Oh,
years.
you've tried
Yeah,
the
I
sports
know.
berries before, haven't you?
No, can't say that I have.
Oh, well, see, that's how my pa was all like a hands-on or an experienced feller, and so one day he just put a bunch of berries in front of me, and he was like, "All right, boy, try them," and then but then my mom came up, she's like hit him on the back of the head, and she like reached in and took some of the berries out, and she's like, "Don't try them, try the kill berries, dum dum." And so then I tried the rest of the berries, and then I learned which ones are the good ones and which ones give you the squirts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
imagine there's some pretty interesting stories about which one of you fellers tried the kill you berries, but maybe we'll save that one for
Oh, well,
some other
okay,
time.
we can if that's what you want to do. Okay.
Yeah. We'll just save that one. Tuck that away for a different time that's not right now.
Okay.
All right. So you pass midday, afternoon. Doesn't really feel like it's warm. There's no air movement in most of the forestation you're walking in. Every now and then you can see an increased lighting glow that indicates the canopy's maybe thinned out a little bit. But by and large, it's pretty dark, densely forested. Um, but you do finally, towards the end of the first day, make your way down to the river that is currently, if you look, you've headed kind of southeast and you intercept that river right at about the bend where it starts to head more south. Let me see if I can get you. I'll use Anna's map again just to give you a general reckoning of where you are. And your stomachs are telling you right in here is about where you're going to pick up the river and head south southeast, and then it winds its way back south southwest, and then due south. So you're going to pick it up right here on this bend. Okay.
Got it.
Um, it's a fairly broad river. It's very brown, mucky, slow rolling. It's in where you've encountered it. The banks are actually a fair way, maybe 6 8 feet above it, where it's carved in, and so you can see, um, tree roots hanging off the bank, dragging in the water. It looks just very dark, murky, and it's not that. You know how some rivers down in the south, in particular in the southeast, are like high in tannins and they look like Coca-Cola. This is more of a midwestern muck river. Browny, greeny. You know, just you could tell there's probably a lot of sediment, um, and it's flowing actually toward you to the northwest as it makes its way out to the sea. But at this point, it's getting dark, like actual darkness, dark. And your stomachs are telling you it's probably a good time for camp and supper.
Sounds good.
Look
Let's
around
let
for a good.
Yeah, let's stop for the night. That's all I
Rockhound,
got.
oh, that was it. Yeah, Rockhound nods his agreement. Oh, that was a good idea. We can find a place to hole up here. Just maybe get away from this riverbank a little bit.
I I rolled a natural 20 for my survival check, so I will find a real good spot to camp.
Yeah, yeah. You can find some high, dry ground. It's not too difficult to find the sufficient tinder and dead fallen wood to gather up if you wish to make a fire. So you guys set up camp for the evening. How will you feed yourselves?
Probably with your
Well,
hands.
I'm gonna stay away from berries for sure. So Blarg has carries rations.
Okay. Rockhound is going to pull out his sling. How y'all feel about squirrel or rabbit for supper?
Sounds
Yeah,
good to me.
that's okay with me.
All right, I'm gonna have a go.
As
Only
long
gonna
as we
get
have
what
the
we can
proper
use though.
sauce.
So who's raise your hand if you're eating?
Well, I think everybody's probably got to eat.
Well, I mean, some folk may not like rabbit or squirrel. I don't know.
Oh no, it's okay. As
Now, as
long as
long
they
as we
don't
make a
know their names.
nice pan sauce, I think it'll be fine. Maybe a gravy.
I'll
Well,
leave the whatever that is to you.
Okay.
Very well then. I'll be a few minutes.
we'll
You
meet at
know,
the
you
fire
know.
I
room.
gotta tend to some other
Yeah, okay. You
Yeah,
don't have to tell
necessities.
us everything you're doing.
No, that's all. Yep. Bert.
Some of it you can we'll just leave it to the imagination.
He's already
oh,
gone. He
oh,
disappears into the brush.
You know
Um,
that
I'm,
guy,
and he
that
has his
rockhound
sling
guy,
out.
that rockhound guy with his mustache. I wonder if he's ever thought about joining the guard back at the keep because he could be an officer like right away.
what do you mean?
Because they have a mustachocracy back at the keep.
Oh,
If you have a really nice mustache, you can be an officer. And
maybe he was.
well, maybe I think I'm going to ask him. I'm just trying not to. Trying to
Oh, you know
avoid
what?
sensitive
I'll
subjects
bet
that
he.
make him angry.
I'll bet he was, but they probably got tired of him taking all those pee breaks every 5 minutes. So maybe it's like, you're not really guarding anything if you're, always going to the bathroom with that
Yeah.
small bladder of yours.
Well, to his credit, though, if you're peeing on company time, that's pretty smart. I wonder. I, I wonder if we're going to be able to find these orcs and sort of what's going on.
Oh, we'll find him.
You've never heard of these little small, odd green creatures?
I have not, but now, maybe like my paws, or my paws, maw might know of them, but I have not bumped into them since we've been into the woods here. So, but
And the
they're a lot
trees,
older than me. So,
yeah, yeah, and the trees don't know anything.
well, I can, I can ask the ones around here, see if they've seen anything.
Like, what language do trees speak?
Tree. What do you think they
Uh,
speak? Common and stuff.
Well, I don't know. You
You
must
really are
be
not from the woods.
you must be able to speak with them, so you must speak that language.
Well, it's kind of more you just sort of get an impression of kind of what they've experienced. Not much a language per se. I
Oh.
really cannot explain it. It's just something that I've always been able to do.
Well, I've always been interested in languages, and I thought, yeah, if I could pick up another one, it probably wouldn't be tree, to be perfectly honest with you, but you know, never say never, I guess.
Hmm. One thing I could also do when we get kind of settled in here, maybe I can find like a bird or an owl or something, and I can get a little more in-depth conversation with it, and maybe see if they've seen anything around here.
Do they speak tree too?
Well, no, they speak owl or whatever, but I got like a little magic that I use where I can actually like truly like
Oh,
talk to them. So,
oh, yeah. That also sounds, pretty useful.
oh, it has been useful many times.
I mean, other than talking with trees and owls, what else do you do?
Well, I patrol the woods and I
Yeah.
help people. I mean, like I got there was this one little wizard feller one time. He was in the woods and he was maybe to run up a tree by some wolves, and I got the wolves to leave him alone. And he gave me this bottle of coffee, and it never runs out. It is the craziest thing.
Oh,
Now,
does
well,
it?
oh, well, that's not the craziest thing. The craziest thing is like every fall when the leaves turn colors, it's pumpkin spice for about a month, and then it goes
Oh,
back to hazelnut. I don't know how it does it.
yeah. That's
It
pretty
maybe it's
weird.
something to do with the little fish lady on it, but I don't understand. But it's
What's up
good
with the
coffee.
What's up with the pumpkin spice craze here in the Flanness?
I do
I
not.
don't
I
get it.
truly don't understand it.
It's
It just
silly,
it's a thing. It's a thing. Yep.
and it always seems to start way earlier than you think it should.
I don't know how the bottle knows. It just does.
Yeah. Well, that's wizards for you.
Yeah, the Wizards is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna agree on that. Here's my philosophy on magic.
Mm.
I mean, no offense, because apparently you cast some, so don't take any offense to what I'm going to say. If you
Oh.
ain't traveling with a goblin shaman, you might as well just skip the magic because it's not going to be what you expect it to be. Once you've had the benefit of goblin shaman magic, everything else just seems kind of pointless.
I've never encountered a goblin before, so
Well, maybe we will. Maybe we'll run into one, and maybe he can
maybe we
show
will.
you. Maybe he can, give us a display.
Maybe.
Goblin shamans were the original uh, magic users.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true that they're the original magic users, and everything magic that goes on in the world originated with goblin shamans. Now, humans and elves and all those other things, they kind of screw it up. Um, but if you really want to get to the pure magic, you need to find a goblin shaman.
Oh, I have not heard that before.
Yep. Well,
You guys roll perception.
Perception. Yes.
Perception. One of my highlights. Oh, am I gonna have to have reading glasses? Right.
The new dice
Man, getting
blues,
old
huh?
sucks. I know. Why are the numbers suddenly so small?
Yeah.
I got a
Uh,
19.
19,
Now 14.
14. Yeah, you see on one of the boughs above you a squirrel, big black squirrel, scurrying across the bough. And then all at once, this vine from behind, from the thicket, lashes out, zaps it, and wraps around its neck, and then the squirrel gets pulled back into the brush. I love that. And out comes Rockhound, and he's got this, like, there's probably 6, 7 dead squirrels hanging on his belt, various sizes, all black. And he's holding up a vine, and he pulls out a knife and he cuts the vine, peels it off the squirrel. I love that.
Well, I can tell you, it's the only way I eat squirrel. Fresh off the vine.
And he comes and walks into camp and throws the squirrels down. Let's dress these up and get them cooking. How's that fire coming?
Like in costumes, or I don't think I have any costumes that are that small.
He grabs 3 of them and throws them at Blarg, and he grabs 3 and throws them at Quinliver. No, skin them up. Get them ready to eat. Get them ready to cook.
Oh, skim, of course.
Get their entrails.
Now that you say that, dressing
throw
them up
them-
in little costumes seems kind of silly.
Silly folk.
throw them guts in a pile, and I'll take them down to the river and wash them away. We don't need that scent-drawn bears and whatnot in here when we're sleeping.
No, we definitely don't need that.
Oh,
Right, so,
yeah, I forgot to tell you about the bears, but there's bears.
Oh yeah, big ones. So he starts working on dressing these things out, skinning them out, and gutting them out, and getting them all. So I'd say probably take you all about a half hour to get that done.
Yeah, I'll pull
Quinliver,
out my
did you
sword.
make fire? Your sword.
Yes, I did make fire.
When you do that, Rockhound sees that and he's no, and comes over. And if you want to help him, he'll roll survival and he'll take care of those gutting them. He could see you're very clearly out of your element, Lord.
I'll say, well, it's got acid on it. I mean, I can coat it in acid.
No. That's no good. You'll ruin the meat for sure.
Oh, wow. I thought I'd kind of cook it at the same time.
Yeah. So he makes pretty quick work of your squirrels, Blarg, and his own squirrels, and I'm assuming Quinliver's gonna have no problem dressing those out.
Nope.
So you get them on sticks and get them. I'm assuming you're gonna kind of spit roast them over the fire. Okay. Is there anything else you're gonna do to prepare your evening? Any other?
I'm gonna make a pan sauce.
Do you have a pan?
I don't know. Surely Rockhound does. Hey, Rockhound, do you have a pan?
Oh, can't say that I do.
Oh, well, that's no good. It's going to be really hard to make a pan sauce without a pan.
He kind of looks over at the
Quinliver, do
furball.
you have a pan?
In my current incarnation, I do not.
Oh.
He used
In
to have
a
a
past
pot.
incarnation, you probably had one.
He had a pot
Yep.
that gave off light. Strangest thing.
Well, that would have come in
Got
real
a feeling
handy
that wouldn't
right
have
now.
worked so well in this group.
He,
So,
he never would have figured out how to use it.
nope.
All right. Well, I guess I'm not going to make a pan sauce then because no one had the foresight to bring a pan.
Well, we could probably find like a hollowed out log or something.
Hopefully, that's the only thing we didn't think to bring.
So Rockhound will get help get dinner going. Found these herbs and some wild onions. Make up a good. Put some water. Anybody got a pot? Make a stew.
No.
No pot.
Well, no, I normally hang around in taverns. So,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't know how to take care of yourself out here in the wild. Good thing you got us with you.
Yeah, well, that's why when the Castellan said bring the Rockhound, I thought that sounds like a pretty good idea. He probably has a pot and a pan.
No,
He can make
it's
some-
not the Rockhound. It's just Rockhound. Fandle Penlock, Rockhound. Either one, interchangeable. But it's not
I'm not
the
sure how-
Rockhound.
Okay, I'm not sure how those are different, but okay.
Well, they are because the and not the.
Well, yeah, but okay.
Ain't you some kind of
Oh.
language expert or
Rockhound.
something? You told
Well,
me.
yeah, but I think aren't we playing semantics now?
Samantha.
Semantics.
I
mean,
don't know her.
I
don't
can call
either.
you Rockhound, or I can call you the Rockhound.
Well, the Rockhound would imply there's only one. Where I come
There's more
from,
than one
gnomes.
Rockhound?
A lot of gnomes are known for their Rockhounding skill.
Wait a minute.
But since I'm the only gnome around, they don't have to call me the Rockhound. They call me Rockhound.
So what you're telling me is there's a lot of gnomes where you're from who use the nickname Rockhound.
Well, that's what we are. We're Rockhounds. A lot of us are mining gems and finding things. And I'm especially good at mapping. And he unrolls. He digs in his pack and he unrolls some parchment and quills. And I need to spend a little time doing some mapping along this river here. So I'm going to do some of that while them squirrels cook up.
So
He
it's
starts
not
working on a
a
map.
nickname at all.
Well, I was given the nickname by these local yokels here, but that's kind of who I am too. I'm a Rockhound.
So like I'm a linguist.
But are you really?
Yeah,
Because you're having
no,
a hell of a time with this.
No, but I'm just saying that would be like me calling myself linguist. And I
Well,
think if I did that, in all fairness, it would only make sense to call myself the linguist. Because
Yeah.
if you just say linguist, I don't think that makes sense.
kind of pulls on his soul patch and plays with his mustache. Well, I think what you're doing now is splitting hairs, trying to confuse old Fandle. And,
No, I'm
not a fan.
just saying. You know, your mustache is, I didn't notice it before, but I like it.
Well,
nice.
it's because the DM didn't describe it. He's,
No, well, I
he's
may
a
have
little
missed
rusty.
it. Well, that's all right. I may have just missed it and not noticed it, but I
It was
think
dark in the tavern.
if you ever decide, Rockhound, to stop rock hounding, you could join the Castellan's guard and be an officer.
Oh, I'd fit right in, except for being 3 feet shorter than most of them. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a fine mustache.
You could be an officer.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm gonna do a little mapping here while the dinner cooks up.
You need some help with that? I can help.
Can you?
Yeah, probably not.
I think I'll take care of
You-
it. It's kind
you
of
could
a
probably
thing I
some
do
lots
to
of language.
relax when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I don't talk a lot, if you may have noticed.
Well, that's yeah.
I mean,
that's good.
you two talk enough for 4 groups, so you got it covered
Yeah.
with the talking.
Mm.
I guess that's what
Well-
linguists do,
You know, we are known to do that some.
apparently. So this kind of goes back and forth, and he gets quiet, and he gets his, he finds kind of maybe like a smooth stump or something, or a rock that's, kind of flat, and he gets himself, set up, and you can see he's mapping the trail you guys have made thus far today.
Hey, Quinliver, while you're tending to the squirrels, just so you know, I think I take mine kind of medium, as long as it's okay to do that. I don't know if these are more like chicken or, where you
they're squirrel.
can't eat them. Yeah, I know, but I like them medium, unless that's a bad idea.
They're all about the same size.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to end up with the what did you call it? The runs or the
Oh, the squirts. Well, there
squirt.
were not. There's no squirts berries here.
Well, I don't want to. If it's bad an idea to eat an undercooked squirrel, then cook it all the way.
Well, yeah, you don't want Eli that's undercooked because that could cause us work too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, maybe
yeah.
we
We
have.
don't really have time for you to be off there behind the trees, for 1 or 2 hours.
No. One of us needs to actually stay on the pass
Mm-hmm. Oh,
at some
oh, I
point.
do have a pan, by the way.
Oh, did it disappear? Did the trees remind you?
I just checked my inventory. I have a mess kit.
Okay. Okay. Well, now that he has a pan, I'm going to make a pan sauce.
Nice. You have a cooking skill, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Oh, maybe that's
Don't
another
have any
character.
skills.
But you're a linguist.
Right, I'm a linguist. How hard can it be to make a pan sauce?
Right. So tell me, how is Blarg going to go about? Rockhound brought you some onions, some wild onions,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
so I'm going to cut those up.
some herbs that he
I'm
collected.
going to take out my sword. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna cut up the onions because I believe,
I'm guessing he's
yeah,
got to have like a buck knife or something, right?
yeah, I'm sure I do.
Totally.
I have a dagger.
Yeah, that'll work.
Thought I had a knife, but I don't see it.
It's probably in
A
one of the
rope,
pockets of the cloak of displacement that got banned. You should always
probably.
empty the pockets of your soon to be banned magic items.
Yeah. So I'll cut up the onion, and we'll set the pan over the fire, and I'll cut up the onion. He gave us herbs too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I'll use
I'll give
some
you
of
some
the
berries.
I'll use some of the herbs. I'll throw the berries when he's not looking, kind of out into the bushes. Um, and then as they start to as that starts to cook, I'll get some of the drippings in the pan from the squirrels as they cook on the spit, and then I'll mix
Nice.
it all up, and it'll be delicious.
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
If I had flour, I'd thicken it, but
Yeah. Make a little
I
roux.
don't
Get a
I
little
don't
fat.
carry
Get a little
that.
flour. Yeah.
I don't carry that now, but next time,
Maybe after you level up,
yeah,
6th level roux. It's
yeah.
one of the little.
And so I'll make the sauce like I like that.
Very good. Yeah. So you'll see Fandle Penlock over there, hard at work on his map, um, doing his thing. Quinliver, what are you up to as we put dinner together?
Well, he'll just be watching the squirrels and make sure they're, turning them so they don't burn on one side.
Yeah.
He'll be kind of looking at all and still trying to figure out which one is the medium one compared, in size to the rest of them. And they all seem kind of the same size. So he's just going to keep on cooking them all the same.
Yeah, it's
And
nice
when
in
they're,
this forest. The squirrels are decent sized. Like you can actually get a little bit of a. Now, for a furbolg, you probably have to eat half a dozen of them, but
right,
you can get a bit of a meal out of them.
I'll supplement with some rations or something.
Yeah.
So I got
Okay.
some berries.
So after the the appropriate amount of time, you guys get your squirrel dinner prepared. You got a nice pan sauce there. Fandle wraps up his cartography tools and things and puts everything back in his pack and comes over. All right, how's dinner coming, boys? I'm hungry.
I think it's
Oh,
about
I think
ready.
yeah, I think it's looking good.
All right. What? So we're gonna camp here tonight. Seems like a good defensible kind of high ground. We got trees and we're up away from the water. What? How about we should probably decide who's gonna take first watch and second and third because you don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
think
just
that's
go to
probably
sleep out here and not keep a watch.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take the first one.
All right. He looks over at the furbolg.
Oh, I don't care. I'll take second or third.
I'll take third watch. That'll work.
I'll take second. Then I'll
Just
take the second.
mind you, keep a weapon handy. Keep your eyes sharp. And don't fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
3 keys to successful
Hmm.
watching.
Yeah,
And so you
we've
guys,
done this before.
I have, yeah, many times. Um,
Yeah,
he
As
really
the
doesn't pick up on your patronizing tone. Um, and you guys have a nice dinner. The pan sauce is good for what it is. Being out in the field with rustic and wild herbs and onions, and the squirrels are good. Nicely cooked by our friend the Furbolg. And you guys kind of retire with full bellies. Is there
before
anything that you want to do before we kind of close down for the evening?
yeah before we get hunker down for the night, as they say, in the woods, do I see any owls? Kind of look around, see any owls, hear any owls activity. So time
Roll
of night.
perception.
Roll
And
perception.
again, you can roll with advantage.
I will do that. I think it's plus. I thought it was.
What are you doing there, Furbolg? What you looking for? Something on the
Oh,
wind?
I'm gonna see if I can find an owl to talk to here.
Oh, are you? Why's
21.
that?
See if they've seen anything,
Oh,
any little
that's not a
sign of
bad
people.
idea. You know what? You know what? I could do. I could simply conjure one. I could bring
Talk
an
to
owl
it.
in. I could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Just give me a minute. You don't see any owls or
Okay.
see any signs of any.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, your ranger fullness is. You guys have been making enough noise that there's probably
Hmm.
nothing non-predatory within several hundred yards of your location, given all the
Predatory.
noise. Anything that's spookable is long spooked. But you see him sit down and make some gestures, and he says some things again, muttering in a language, and you see this glittery, sparkly kind of ball begin to manifest in front of him, and it almost illuminates his face. Almost, remember, how you put like a flashlight under your chin, and you all of a sudden you look kind of diabolical. He looks diabolical in a fairy sort of unicorn gnomish, kind of cartoony diabolical, as this sparkling, glittering orb of light begins to swirl, and you see it's almost like wisps of magical wind or smoke, and they kind of coalesce, and then before you know it, you see a large owl that kind of flutters to life and flutters onto a branch and looks down at Rockhound, and then turns and looks at you two. It says in owl.
Wow. Hey, the Rock Hound, if you could summon a beautiful woman, you'd really have something there.
He kind of shakes his head. You don't get out much, do you? This beautiful woman ain't no use out here in the wilderness. I mean, for our
We're,
purposes. And he kind of
I think
smirks.
we'll have to agree to disagree on that.
Yeah. Well, ask away, my furbolg friend. I've done
Well,
the
just thought.
conjuring. You can do the talking.
Oh, okay. Well, I see. Okay, so since he conjured it, do I still need to cast speak with animals to talk to it?
Yeah, it's a.
It's a just a normal owl.
Actually, when you try speak with animals, it doesn't work. Um,
Well, it normally works.
yeah, it doesn't work. And he kind of looks at you and he's like, "Oh, yeah, no, I got you, man. What are we gonna do? Have it go? Maybe take a look around before
Just
we."
have it go kind of fly around, see if it sees anything,
Okay,
campfires or
well,
anything.
I got it for about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. It's not really an owl though.
Oh,
It's more
that'll
like
explain why
like
I couldn't talk to it.
fairy spirits and the like kind of come
Ooh,
together, and it's.
kind of like my swarm.
But it looks like an owl, don't it?
It
And you can
does.
see there's almost this as you begin to look at this thing. Um, there's this sheen around it, almost like fairy fire, but not that pronounced. But as you look closely, you can tell it's just a little bit. Hey, bleak season. Good to see you, brother. You guys just each got an advantage thanks to some long bottom
All
leaves
right.
Thank you.
from
Thanks,
bleak
Bleak.
season. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Some good
I'm gonna
south farthing
whisper to
smoke there gives you advantage.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna whisper to Quinliver, if a goblin shaman had cast this, you'd have been able to speak to it.
What's that over
Huh.
there?
Interesting.
What?
What are you
Oh,
saying?
I was commenting on how beautiful your owl is.
Right. And he kind of gestures at it, and off it goes up into the canopy. Silently. Those things are amazing. As big as they are, you'd think they'd be clattering into things. I mean, it's got to have an 8-foot wingspan. It's a big old owl, the kind that has an 8-foot wingspan.
Well,
Yeah,
since I've got Speak with Animals cast, are there any animals around?
not really. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's quiet. Like I said, your noise from cackling and talking and laughing and so forth, it's kept it non-predatory creatures have all evacuated.
Are there any predatory
It
creatures
isn't the
around?
predator.
There don't
animal.
seem to be. Yeah,
I can speak with those too for 10 minutes.
yeah, if they're animals, but if they're demons,
Oh,
I mean, just as picking a non-animal
sure. That
species
happened.
classification,
Yeah.
right? Just came to mind. I mean, the odds of encountering a demon in the forest are probably pretty low,
Pretty small.
mostly.
Yep.
That's why I bring big
Cool.
dice.
Depends where the forest is, I guess.
Big, liquid, cool.
Yeah.
This is my anniversary present from my wife. Liquid
Does she
cool.
know?
She ordered from the UK, and she thought this was like going to be crystal, and yeah, that was funny. Good old dice photography doing its thing on the internet. She was so bummed. I'm like, why are you bummed? This thing is awesome. Okay, so it grows quiet, and you see Penlock pull out a pouch from inside of his pack, and it's a brown leather pouch, fairly hefty. And he unties the knot, and he pulls it open, and he's like, and he kind of sits back, and he just kind of lays it on his chest as he leans back against the trunk of a tree. He's kind of, yeah, it's nice.
Got a stuffy nose there or something?
No, it's a here, and he hands it over, keeps it in his hand, but he puts it like he tries to reach it up to your face.
Oh, kind of bend down and kind of look into the bag.
You see in the pouch, and again, it's getting dark, it's dim. There is the flicker of your campfire as it begins to burn low as we get late. But you see the pouch appears to be full of some earth, some very dark, dark soil. From it wafts the musty, humus, sort of loamy smell of forest earth. Very pronounced.
Oh, take a big old sniff.
He pulls it back and see what I mean? Very calming.
It is. Oh, wow.
A little bit of soil from home. Keep it with me to like before bed, just puts me in a good mind frame sleeping.
I had not thought of doing that. He'll just reach down and just grab some dirt off the floor here and just start sniffing it.
Yeah. Not nearly as aromatic. Smells
But it smells
more
like home.
Yeah, smells like dusty broken leaves that have been rained on, maybe peed on by various non-predatory and
I
predatory
think that
creatures.
was. Yeah, I think that was a wolf.
Yeah, so after a little bit, he puts his pouch away back in his pack, and well, boys, I think I'm gonna turn in for the night. Blarg, you got this watch thing figured out? What?
Oh, you can count on me.
You don't have a bow and arrow, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be good to have handy too. Lay them out beside you. Get yourself a good spot where you can see.
You know what? I believe it or not, I've done this before too.
You don't say. I mean,
Yeah,
you
although the last
move
time-
across the train pretty well. I have to say I'm impressed, but you seem like kind of a dope for being out in the
Well,
forest.
you know, the last time I have to say I gave away my bow and arrow, which turned out to be a bad call, but
That does seem like a silly thing to do.
well, it was the right thing to do at the time.
I'm never too far away from my sling. And he,
But I got you. I'll you're gonna be fine. I'll scream real loud if something, you know.
Oh, and remember, if you see any wolves, you better wake me up so I can tell them not to eat you.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, and don't eat the squirts berries.
he as you guys are talking, he kind of turns and walks off to the edge of camp, closer to in the direction of the river, where there's a kind of a rocky outcropping. You've seen these throughout the forest. It's definitely hilly and rocky ground under the topsoil. And as you guys are sitting there, he almost vanishes as he crawls amongst the rocks. And now you're like not sure you can see his form. Obviously, he's out of the direct firelight. It's dark, but that was kind of like, wow.
He
All
just
right.
disappears.
Huh.
Seems
That
to
is
have,
one
yes.
interesting.
Yeah,
That
seems.
is one interesting feller. And then Quinliver will, all right, well, wake me up when it's like my turn to like do the watching thing and all that. And then he kind of pulls his cloak over him and probably kind of just fake kind of. Aside from that, you can kind of tell kind of where his outline is, but yeah, it's pretty much
Shimmers
blending
and
in.
changes colors. And
Yep, blending in with
you guys are sneaky,
the
sneaky.
terrain.
Nice. Okay. So, Blarg, it's you and the campfire.
And the gnome's gone. He never comes back.
Um, he just went over there and kind of poofed. Yeah, it's weird. You
Yeah.
can roll investigation perception if you want to take a hard look.
I'll take a
What's
hard
your
look.
what's the term? Passive perception.
That's a 12.
Okay.
But if I can roll an investigation, I just
Yeah.
rolled a dirty
Yeah, like you're
20.
looking into the darkness and you're like, after probably takes you about 2.5, 3 minutes, you think you see the outline of the gnome curled up amongst the rocks on some grass, and he's, strangely concealed, not invisible, but you see now that he's somehow blended into the rocky ground there. Pretty cool.
Okay. Yep. So I'll continue the watch and make sure that nothing kills us. And when it's over, I'll wake Quinliver.
Yeah. So the fire pops and crackles as it burns down. You're going to keep it going. You're going to let it burn out, burn low. I mean, it would be
I think
smoldering coals by the morning. It won't go out, but
I think that's what I'll do. I
just
won't.
let it burn
I'll
down.
let it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and the light slowly fades and fails. Refresh my memory. Goblins possess dark vision, correct?
They do.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. So you're hanging out. It's quiet. You want to roll a perception, maybe, just because that's what people who are doing watch tend to do.
That's my strong suit. Do.
Is it perceiving? I would have thought like
Yeah.
languaging would be your.
Well, I was being sarcastic. It's not
Oh,
really.
I see.
But I got a 14, which
Okay.
isn't too bad.
Yeah. Good. All right. You hear from behind you actually. Some. It sounds like leaves. Something scuffling in the leaves, or the leaves are scuffling. Maybe 20. It's hard to reckon for sure. 25 feet, 30 feet in the
I'm
behind
a,
you ish direction.
I'm going to turn around and pull out my sword,
Okay.
and then I'm going to ignite it.
With acid.
Yeah.
It's too bad it's not a flame tongue. That'd be
The
handy.
woods down.
Little bright light for what, 20 feet? Yeah.
Well, this still gives bright light.
Oh, does it?
This is an acid tongue.
But I don't think acid causes light.
Well, this is a magic sword.
I don't think magic acid causes light, though, does it?
I don't know. It says it on my sheet.
I think if it were an actual flame tongue, that's the flames are what create the light.
Yeah. I
Maybe
think it.
maybe the acid glistens a little bit from the firelight and off the moonlight, if there were any, and that would just probably serve to just kind of locate the sword visually for anybody trying to see it.
Yeah. Maybe. That sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ignite it anyway.
yeah, okay. That's cool that you did that. Um, and you've turned around to face.
Yep.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm gonna look and see what it is.
Look and see. Okay.
See if I can see it.
Roll another perception.
Yeah. That's not good. Oh no, that's good. That's a natural 20.
Okay.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I really need to put my glasses on, but I'm not gonna.
Is it
It's
a
an
2?
11.
Oh, an 11? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're
A
looking around,
natural 11.
and it's quiet.
Natural.
You don't see or hear anything.
No, I'm gonna keep watching.
I mean, you know that you heard some leaves rustling, maybe a twig snap, and you got that goblin sense, the little goblin-y hairs on the back of your neck standing up. So,
Yep.
based on your earlier sense, you're confident that something is out there, but you haven't gotten visual contact. And right here, we're going to press pause, and we're going to take like a bio break because it's time to do that because we're like kind of halfway-ish through our game.
That sounds good.
Dun.
So let's just take a bio break, probably 5-10 minutes kind of thing. So viewers, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you doing that today. I'll drop my Discord and chat if anybody wants a mostly pretty quiet, boring, peaceful discard. That's nice. Peaceful
Don't oversell
community.
it.
That's a place to hang out. So yeah, exactly. Bleak halfway and Blarg is still alive, but that could be amended shortly here. So forsooth. All right. Well, we'll see you in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to put this thing on break and close the mics, and we'll see you shortly. All right, we made it back from break. Look at this cool mug I got here.
Nice.
Says it says Dungeon Master,
Mm-hmm.
and when you fill it with
Nice.
NA beer, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Okay, let's continue. So, you are presently, Blarg, the only person who's awake and alert, as it is your watch, first watch. You're a couple hours in, and you heard some leaves rustling, maybe a twig snap, something that made the little goblin-y hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you're turned facing that direction, and you're peering into
Yep.
the darkness. You don't see anything.
And about how far do I think it is? 20 feet?
It
30 feet?
sounded, it's hard telling, in the darkness, it just kind of jumbles everything up. So
Yeah,
maybe 20,
okay.
30 feet, hard telling.
And so I'm gonna walk slowly in that direction,
Okay.
but not out. But I'm not gonna leave the camp part.
Okay. Seems reasonable. Um, so you hear a sound above you, maybe in the tree limbs.
Uh,
What do
I'm
you
gonna
do?
look up.
You look up? Yeah. You see hurtling towards you the large, scaly body of what appears to be a giant lizard. It's got a long tail and a lizardy
Ooh.
head and claws and big mouth full of teeth as it descends upon you.
Oh
Um,
dear.
and I'm going to have, instead of surprise, since you saw it, um, it didn't do well on its stealth, which is why I didn't even have you roll perception. I just went off your passive as you were walking. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. That might give you the opportunity to get out of its way before it eats you.
That sounds good.
But I mean, that's
Is it
probably,
that big?
it's a giant lizard, yeah, large beast.
Okay.
And you're like a
I'm not gonna get out
goblin,
of its way.
so you're not officially small, but you're definitely at the smaller end of medium.
I think
So
I am
I've
officially small.
What's your initiative roll there, Mr. Blarg?
So it was a 5.
Okay, what's your dex? Because I
It's
too
an
rolled a
8.
5.
Oh, good. Mine's an 18.
Oh, well, you're in luck then. You will draw first initiative, so I'll give you your turn.
So I'm gonna scream first of all,
Okay.
uh, and something like lizard, and then I'm gonna swing at it.
Okay.
If only I knew tree, I'd scream it out in tree, but I don't. So I'm gonna take a swing at it.
Okay. You've walked about maybe 15 feet outside the fire ring into the darkness of the forest. So just for visual reckoning as we play Theater of the Mind, Quinliver, you're passed out near the fire. You're
Probably
probably a good 20 feet from Blarg's position as you hear the clarion call of his goblin-y voice, little stony little voice ring out, Lizard! Um, Blarg, you know from having seen roughly where you think Rockhound is, he was probably another 30 feet from Quinliver, off in
Okay.
that bit of rocky terrain where he seemingly vanished.
Well,
So,
hopefully they've heard my screams.
yes. Go ahead and make your attack.
So I'm gonna use that advantage that Bleak Season gave to me, and I'm gonna roll with advantage. And boy, am I glad I did, because I got a let's see, 11. Get rid of those dice. So I got an 11.
Okay, so your blade does not find purchase. You're unable to penetrate the scaly hide of this lizard as it crashes down on you. Okay. And it's going to attempt to bite you.
Well, that seems rude.
We'll say that you're able to kind of sidestep so it doesn't just like land on you as you make your swing. But it's going to attempt to bite you. Does 12 pierce your armor class?
It does not.
How about now?
No, it does not.
Okay. So this thing lands beside you in the darkness, and you see in the grayscale of your dark vision the form of like a 12-foot long monitor shaped type lizard.
Mm.
Um, it's in grays and silvers, and it's thrashing, its tail and thrashing at you, and it attempts to bite you and misses. I'm gonna ask Quinliver and Rockhound to roll initiative.
19.
19.
Oh,
Okay.
plus 26.
Wow.
That seems decent. Okay. You hear in the brush, oof, the howl in the voice of the gnome. Ah, what the blazes, friggin' rat!
Oh,
So something's
God.
going on over in the rocks, 30 feet beyond Quinliver. Um, okay. Quinliver, it's your turn. You've heard commotion. You heard Blarg scream, lizard, blah, 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 20 feet to your east, followed by a scuffle, followed by a bellow from your west, as Rock has been awoken, and apparently something has happened because he's cursing in Gnomish. You may not speak Gnomish, but you can definitely tell he's cursing by his tone.
Ooh,
What
language.
what do you wish to do?
Oh, well, maybe he just fell off his rock or something. So I'm gonna go barreling over towards Quinliver, or excuse me, towards Blarg. I'm Quinliver. For those keeping track.
Yeah.
It's challenging. Yeah.
That seems in character, though.
Yeah.
He might actually
Say it
try to
out
get to
loud.
himself.
Or says it out loud. It's so the firelight's pretty much burned down.
It's dim and they're outside the range of the firelight.
Okay.
You could tell from the sound where they are. It's
Okay.
it's easy enough to track on that. I mean, it's a giant lizard thrashing around in the underbrush and a
Okay.
angry goblin attempting to stab it with a sword.
Okay. I will go there how far away? 30 feet?
About 20 feet from you to the
30
east.
feet. Well, gee, I have 30 feet of movement, so I guess I will get there. And I was like, oh, I'll tell you about the big lizards. And I'll pull up my axe and take a swing at it.
Okay.
Oops, that's the wrong page. And I will take a big old swing with my big old axe, and I will get a big old 10.
10. Yeah, your axe glances off of its scaly hide as it turns and rolls away from your blow. And
Oh, wait,
again, you
wait,
don't have
whoa.
dark vision, do you?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to see this just because it's so dark
Okay.
out here.
Well, but what I do have are 2 attacks per round.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, hold that, you hold still. And that's a lot better. That is a dirty 20.
That's a hit.
The dirty, filthy, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Plus total of 7 points of axe damage.
Okay. Anything else for your turn?
That was, I think I got the other good bonus actions here. So, well, I think I am okay.
Okay. It is going
Yep.
to be Blarg's turn now.
First of all, I'm going to say, tell it I'm made of gristle. And then I'm going to swing at it. Jesus. I got a, oh, we're just not going to use that one anymore. I think I got another 11. I did.
Yeah,
Does a +2 help?
It does. It does.
Oh, well, then I'll do that.
Okay.
I didn't think to ask that the first time.
Nope. Yeah, you strike AC 12.
All right, great. So I'm going to roll damage. So
You think you'll be doing that today?
Well, when I find my dice, I didn't expect that.
I see you like scrambling, like, where's the dice?
Yeah, so I didn't have any of those ready. So it takes 7 piercing, and then it takes. Oh my God! 2 acid,
Okay.
and then it takes because I have an ally within 5 feet, right?
You have sneak attack damage. Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah, so I get
Nice.
sneak
Rogue
attack
life.
damage.
Hashtag rogue life. Rogue life.
So it takes. Ooh, that's better. 11, 14 sneak attack damage.
14 additional?
Yep.
Okay, so how does this thing end?
Oh wow. So it obviously was distracted in some way by Quinliver bumbling attacks, and I precisely and elegantly swing out with my short sword, stabby with my short sword, and it just penetrates into its little tiny lizard brain, killing it instantly.
Okay, down it goes, and it flops there, and blood's oozing from its wounds, black ichor. You hear off in the distance, very faintly now, the sputtering and cursing of Rockhound.
So can I use my movement to head towards him?
Oh yeah, yep.
I'm going to do that. I have I don't know how much movement I have. I think I only have 30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 30 feet, so I'm going to use that to move in that direction.
Very good. So you move 30 feet. You're essentially 20 feet or so. You're past the fire in the direction of Fandel Penlock, and you see he's wrestling with this giant lizard, much like the one that attacked you off in the trees. It seems to have drawn blood on his arm,
Oh,
and you see them fighting and so forth. And so he will transform himself, strangely enough. It's like he becomes earth and rock itself. He's still bipedal, humanoid, but he becomes earth and rock itself. And he kind of dives into the ground, and you see dirt and stuff start flying up behind him. It looks like he's burrowing into the ground. Quinliver, it's your turn.
Okay, I will turn around. I will run my full 30 feet.
Okay.
Get to where I can see the rock feller and the lizard.
Yeah, you're having trouble seeing. Only that it's so dark. The fire dim glow of the coals and so forth, low flame, are behind you. You're both blocking any light that would be kind of coming from the fire to illuminate it. So while Blard, you're seeing in dim gray tones, grayscale, if you were. Quinliver, you're not. You see the rocky outcropping. You hear the sounds of scrabbling in the dirt and scuffling and growling and snapping jaws. But you don't really see clearly what's taking place in front of you.
Okay, I will reach into a pouch. I'll pull out a small round, well, all globes are round. Pull a small globe and kind of just
not the Earth.
All right, flat Earth. Kind of give a little toss into the air. It will hover there and it will illuminate for about 20 feet with some light.
Okay. So you see before you a giant lizard among the rocks and grass where Rockhound was bedded down. You see his pack laying there. But you see an odd sight. The feet, you think they're feet, they look like they're made of stone or earth, kind of kicking as dirt is flying out of this hole, and the feet are slowly burrowing and vanishing down in there as the lizard kind of circles back as if to attack again. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Oh, unfortunately, it was an action to do that. I can. Well, I couldn't attack with them, so I don't really have any bonus actions I can do at the moment. So I'll just have my axe ready to. Oh wait, I can throw. Well, no. Okay,
I'm
I get two
assuming
attacks
your light was your action, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with 2 attacks per round, that's
action is an attack.
Yeah.
Attack is an action. Excuse me. And while you
Right.
you'd have to use the action to use your attacks, and you've already used that to do your lights.
So nope, I cannot do anything else.
Great.
Except get ready to
Blarg,
do something next round.
You see the area is now illuminated clearly, and you see the scene as the feet disappear into the ground, and the hole almost kind of covers it up as if it were never there.
So the creature's gone? The lizard?
No, the lizard's there, but Rockhound has disappeared.
Oh, Rockhound disappeared. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna take a swing at the lizard while saying, "Hey, the Rockhound, there's lizards."
Okay, you're about 20 feet away. You're going to take your movement.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And-
take my movement and attack it.
Wade right into combat fearlessly.
Oh yeah,
As
Must save my
goblins are
boy.
wont to do.
I'm gonna save my boy, the Rockhound. Well, I'm not, because I got an 8. Gosh, man, terrible.
Okay,
rolling.
so Blarg, you are now engaged with the lizard, and in the absence of any other targets, the lizard turns to you and attempts to bite
Yeah.
you
Sure it does.
fiercely. Not just any old bite, but a fierce bite.
Oh no.
And in that one, that is a miss. Let's see. That puts us up to Quinliver, but before that happens, the bipedal rock earthman bursts forth from the ground behind the lizard and attempts with its fists to slam it, making 2 slam attacks. That's a hit and a hit as this thing just roars in some guttural, primal, unintelligible language and does a substantial amount of damage. With the first attack, you hear bones cracking and crushing, and then it caves in the skull
Ooh.
of the lizard, and it stands over the lizard and it looks up at you. And he kind of pounds his chest, and dirt and rock and stuff are kind of flying. And you're out of initiative as all grows quiet.
Do we know it's Rockhound?
You know it's an large, earthy, rocky, bipedal creature with slits for eyes and a crevasse for a mouth. Oh, here come the DM advantages. Thank you, Dave. That's kind of what you got. Ooh,
I'm gonna
4 of them. Wow.
unignite my sword and go, "Well, I think my watch is pretty much over."
Oh, yeah, I did forget to tell you, there's like big lizards out here in the woods too. You got to watch out for them.
Yeah, that would have been, pretty good information to have.
Yeah, I guess I just sort of assumed that, I talked about the wolves, figured you'd like to associate that with any other big thing out there, but yeah, there are big lizards.
Yeah. Well, apparently there are. Yeah.
So yeah, you
They
got
hang out in trees.
two bleeding carcasses. The earthen rock man, for lack of a better term, grabs the carcass of the closest one and drags it and hurls it into the river below as it washes past you. What do you guys do?
Hey, Quinn Libert, you should probably do that with the other one, because it might attract, bears and wolves and things. Whatever else is in this forest.
Oh, there's lots of things in this forest that'd be attracted to that. Yeah, that is a good idea. And I will grab the other one and follow suit.
Okay. As you're dragging it to the river, you pass Rockhound, kind of brushing himself off. He's all dusty. Got dust in his beard, and he's got a wound on his arm that's the kind of the rock-looking arm. Oh, yeah, just dump that thing in the river so we don't attract critters.
Oh, yep, exactly.
Damn
hey,
lizards.
Want me to take a look at that bite there?
Why? There you go. See?
want me to like do some healing on it or something?
Oh, you got that?
Well, yeah.
That'd be good. Bastard got me. Caught me in my sleep.
Yeah. I feel a little responsible for that. I forgot to tell Blarg about the lizards. I told him about the wolves and the bears and the snakes, I did not mention the lizards.
Well, I mean, only one. You can only watch so much, and looks like there was two of them by the sounds of the scuffling going on over out
Yep,
yonder. And he points in the direction of where you were battling.
yep.
Well, everybody's okay though. I take it.
Oh, yep, yep. We're all fine.
Oh, very good.
Well, except for you. You got
Yeah,
bit.
just a little bit. Not bad. Not bad.
Well, I can go ahead and I will do a little of my healing magic and cast Cure Wounds on that.
Okay. Much obliged.
And he gets 9 points back.
All right. Nice. He is all good. Oh, that's better. That's much appreciated
I'll
there, feller.
chuck my lizard carcass into the river,
He helped you.
and then we'll be like, oh, we don't left Blarg alone. Oh boy, better head back.
Blarg, while they're off tending to things or whatever, what are you up to?
The rest of the
I'm
lizards.
going to be looking for more lizards.
Okay. Yeah, roll perception.
Oh, now I roll high. That is a 19.
Okay. I picture you kind of scurrying around a little panicky, checking the
Yeah.
whole kind of area right
Nervous.
around the immediate camp, and you don't find any other lizards.
No good.
The DM must have only rolled up 2 for the random encounter.
Yeah,
Hmm.
That's your conclusion.
I'm gonna when Quinliver gets back, I'm gonna say, "Hey, are they poisonous? Those lizards? When they bite you, do you get the runs or whatever you called it?
the squirts.
Squirts?
Well, not usually. No, well, I mean, some are poisonous, some are not. There are ones that are poisonous, they'll just like make you real sick. But I've done a little healing on him, so he's gonna be okay. But you just want him to bite you at all, really, if you can help it.
Yeah, yeah. I can see why that would be the case.
Yeah, yeah.
You could roll
So
survival, Quinliver, to see if you know if this particular species of lizard is in fact venomous.
I will do that. Sure.
Probably only the red ones are poisonous.
Yeah. That's a nat 20.
So with a high number, these are not
26 total.
these are not poisonous creatures,
Yeah,
which is good.
oh
news.
no. Oh, these lizards, although they was not poisonous. No, no.
Oh,
But you know for a fact some are deadly
Mm.
poisonous.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
These
skip
were
the squirts
more
right
kind
to
of
death.
run of the mill, your average Joe kind of lizards. Nothing too terribly special about them, other than they're large and they bite hard.
Yeah. No, those were Joe lizards. So they're not poisonous.
well, I'm just gonna put this out here. This is a pretty crappy place to live because it's pretty
Well-
dangerous. I'm just
well-
saying.
You just gotta be careful.
Well, it's a pretty crappy place to live.
I don't know. I think it's real nice.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Well, sure.
You
Something.
bet you don't see too many goblins out here.
That lizard sneak up on you too, Blarg?
Oh, I saw it coming.
Yeah, the one that was on my end of camp got me before I had a chance to get it.
Yeah, well,
But we took care
sorry
of
about
it.
that. Yeah, well, no, we did. We're make a good team, the Rockhound. You and me, and Quinliver can tell us about berries and whatever.
And lizards.
And
And wolves.
lizards. That makes
And
a
bears.
good. Got pretty much all the bases covered.
Well, Quinliver, then looks like you're up for watch. I'm gonna try to finish my long rest.
Yep.
Wink, wink. And he goes back and kind of melds back into the. And this time with the coin, I'm not sure the duration of the light that Quinliver cast, but this time with the coin, if you're watching him, you very easily see him sort of become camouflaged into the stony ground over there,
Okay.
as if by some
I will,
magical means called stone camouflage.
that's a good name for it.
Advantage on hiding in rocky terrain.
Basically, tells you what it does. Doesn't leave
Mhm.
much to the imagination.
No, it does not. That's the benefit of being a linguist. You know that.
I will go grab that globe that is drifting out of the air, and I will put the light out, and I will, so we're not just setting off a nice big bright beacon for things to find us, and then I will go get comfy against a tree, and I will take my watch. And it might be worth noting that I cannot be surprised when I'm awake. So it's almost like I'm really alert.
Right. Almost.
In fact,
Amazing.
I am.
Amazing.
So
Very good. Okay. So you set your watch. Blarg, what are you doing?
Aye, Blarg's gonna go to sleep.
Okay. Blarg does go to sleep. Why don't you go ahead and like roll perception there, Mister um, Furbolt guy? Again, the fire slowly turning to coals, unless you wish, of course, to stoke it.
nah, that's okay. 14.
Okay, yeah. With a 14, all's quiet. Um, Not that you would have been surprised, but you don't see or hear anything. Again, without dark vision, it's hard to see much. Everything's pretty dark.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
listening.
it's quiet.
I got my ears all twitching.
Okay. Well, that's tremendous. Okay, so your watch
And
passes uneventfully, and you're able to rouse Rockhound, and he mutters and sputters and stretches and scratches himself in places you wish he hadn't, and lights his pipe and sits among the rocks, nearly invisible. Um, and in fact, since he's so far out of the basically extinguished fire, you can't really see him. He's hidden.
I will
Night,
curl
Quinn
up back
Liver.
under my cloak and uh, try not to snore too loud.
Okay. The night passes uneventfully, and the morning is announced subtly, if only by the changes in the darkness to dim gray light. Feels like, as you guys wake up, the start of another probably overcast day. You see that Rockhound has got the fire stoked back up. He has more squirrels and a couple of rabbits this time. Excuse me. That he has ensnared, dressed, and is preparing them over the fire for breakfast. Um, and you see him sitting on a log, and he has this kind of ethereal, glittery sort of image of a cloudy sky that he's kind of looking at it and scratching his big soul patch. Mm. Be a rainy, cloudy one today, I reckon. Good day for
Blarg's gonna
killing
like
orcs.
Blarg's gonna look up into the sky. Can he? Is it cloudy?
Roll perception.
Well, that's a 21.
You can tell immediately with that it is breezier out today than it was yesterday. That the top of the canopy you can see and hear the motion of the tops of trees being strewn about in a fairly stiff breeze. And as those trees shift and move, you see little peaks and pockets of overcast, just heavily leaden clouds, very dark shades of gray and steely gray, looking to probably burst forth with precipitation at any moment, in fact. And again,
Okay.
Rockhound just kind of and the visual of cloudy skies that was hanging in front of him, sparkling and glistening, kind of dissipates.
And about killing orcs, remember.
Good day for it.
Well, remember
He
that's
takes
not.
his sling out and twirls it a couple times, and
Yeah, remember that's not what we're doing right away. We're tracking and following.
well, I suppose we'll see what happens. If they
Well,
pose a threat, they're going down.
Well, we're gonna stay away from them. We're just gonna see where they go, so that we know, and then.
You sound like you're scared of them orc folk, Blarg.
You
I
know,
know we're
your friend,
rumored to be
your friend
outnumbered, but
your new friend Blarg's no stranger to orcs and oroks. And I don't want to brag, but I probably killed a weevil. So.
I heard you talking about this weevil in
Yeah.
the goat the other night. I don't understand. What the hell's a weevil? You mean one of them cotton bugs gets in your crops and the
No,
like?
no, 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 no. Weevils have big teeth. I mean, big teeth and wings, and you know, some of them. I mean, they're big bad creatures. They're one of the original races on Earth. You know, goblins, weevils. We're sworn enemies.
You see him almost as if he's exploring the catalogs of his mind. Well, I know an awful lot about an awful lot when it comes to the natural world, and I never. He kind of looks over at Quinliver, like, "Have you ever heard of this weevil?" Maybe we could, if we get the opportunity, maybe we can take it up with the Great Druid if anybody know about weevils.
Well, I'm just glad you've never run into one, because they are mean. They love to eat goblins, although they're only supposed to do that on their high holidays. But they're very mean, and
So
I
you
hope you
mean to
never
tell
run
me
into
these
one.
critters have holidays?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we have holidays too, and on our holidays we can eat weevil. You know, assuming we could kill one.
How many these weevils have you killed there,
Well,
Bart?
I've probably killed one,
Probably.
but I don't like to. I don't like to
Seems
brag
like you'd
about it.
know whether or not something this significant would be dead or not.
Well, you know, ask me in a couple weeks.
Did you have any friends with you? Did they help you kill it? Did they turn out? Were
Well,
they
I
all
mean,
okay?
there were other people there. Are they all okay?
Mhm.
You know, probably.
Seems like you would know that.
Well, they're probably okay.
I just have a mildly curious interest in that.
I mean, we'll see. Anyway, I'm glad you've never. I'm glad you don't know what one is, because you don't ever want to meet one. They're angry and evil, and you know. This one was an incredibly good swimmer, surprisingly. But
And Quinliver's going to look at Rockhound, and he's like, you know,
I know, and they don't have wings neither.
Right.
Nor do they have big teeth. I think this Blarg feller here, he's been in the, to borrow your terminology, he's been in the spirits or something.
well,
might have been hit
anyway.
on that. Well, the lizard, maybe that lizard hit him on the head.
Anyway, the point of all this is your boy Blarg, he's familiar with orcs and orogs. He's faced plenty of those.
Well, it's good to know, but it's troubling that you just don't want to go ahead and just, because the only good orc is a dead one.
Well, because
that's a philosophy that served me well since I was just a knee-high to a weevil.
Yeah, and
maybe I'm still knee-high to a weevil. See what I done there?
I see what you did there. I hear you. But our task, the task given to us was to find out information and where these folks are going and what they're doing and who these little.
Well, we got to stop whatever they're up to.
fellas are.
That's what we're gonna do. We got to stop them.
Well,
they're up to no good. They're orcs and orcs.
Well, we got to figure. Well, I don't like to paint with such a broad brush, but I hear you.
Well, I'm gonna paint them. I'm gonna kill them.
I just want them out of my woods.
Right. See, there's a man with some sense. Well, a furbolg with some sense.
Well,
Yep.
Again, let's find the source. You know, if you have a leak, you can plug the leak, but that doesn't necessarily fix the leak. You got to find the source of the leak and solve that problem. We got to solve the problem.
Kill him. Solves it.
So I'm not saying we can't kill him. I'm just saying we got to find the source of the problem first.
One of them, like, protectionalist or some sort of thing.
What?
Go around protecting everything.
Well, I mean, I don't like to. I mean, I like to help people. Let's just say that. And we got to help these people in the keep.
And this
could be dangerous.
Well, Castellan Farrick did say we need to figure out what's happening. So, but I'm telling you, them orcs pose a threat, and they're going down.
Well, that's fine.
By the hair on my chin right here, and this fine cooked up coney. And he takes one of the rabbits and just starts gnawing on it, still on the stick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
just
good.
think we're saying the same thing. We're just saying it in a different way. I think.
See,
Semantics again.
now who is this Samantha?
Well,
Yeah, I
we're
think you
saying the
got
same
some
thing.
kind of a obsession with women.
No,
Is what
well,
is what I think.
guilty as charged, the Rockhound. Guilty as charged. But that's not
Ah,
what we're
I
up to
mean,
today.
you know,
I know what you mean.
right. Well, have some breakfast. We're gonna need some energy if we're gonna be killing tracking
Kraken.
orcs today.
Yeah.
Because
More
Okay.
both.
my hope is sometime by the end of the day we'll run across them, sort all
Yeah.
this out. Because I got to get you all. I need your help with a situation.
Yeah, you said that.
Got a
I mean,
cave, whole cave full of them.
of orcs.
Yeah,
Maybe it's related to all this.
maybe we'll see.
Is it in the forest?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll finish up breakfast and we'll track these orcs and figure out what they're up to.
Very well. It's more upriver
Yes,
from the keep, the other direction. We'll get to that.
All right.
Ferrick's got us
His,
on a job, and I don't mean to let him down.
His he sent that owl up to fly around last night. Did it?
Oh, I forgot about that, didn't I? Yeah, no, he didn't see
We
nothing.
kind of glossed over that.
Yeah, he
Did it ever
didn't.
come
He
back?
didn't see nothing.
Okay.
Certainly not any lizards.
I'll let those track. Yeah.
No.
But lizards can be kind of sneaky.
Yeah. Next time, maybe summon a lizard seeking owl.
But then, if there was bears or wolves, I wouldn't see that.
Well, that's true. You got me there.
Trekking through the woods ain't an exact science.
Now, I'm not sure why anyone does it, to be honest with you.
Well, sometimes you just got to do it if you're trying to get from one point to another.
So he wolfs down a cooked rabbit and a squirrel, and he goes off into the brush for a few minutes. You might not want to follow. We're not leaving yet, but I need a moment.
Okay, I think we got it.
Aries.
And he grumbles off into the brush.
Quinliver will, after he eats his breakfast, he'll be taking swigs of the coffee and he'll hold it out again to Bart. Coffee.
No, I think I'm gonna stick with water today.
Oh, hydration is important.
Yeah.
But coffee's just so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, more for me. That's a joke because this thing never runs out.
Yeah. That's you said that the other
And then I'll say it again now. Yeah.
Kind of hear it.
Glad just paying attention.
Distance.
Mm.
Ooh.
Might be that lizard bite, even though they're not poisons. At least those weren't.
So after about 20 minutes, Rockhound comes back.
Does he look thinner?
Yeah. Now we can make some time.
day. All right, let's do it. Let's
Okay.
make some time.
Head on out.
So you do. You follow along. You make your way back along the riverbank and follow it. And it's just a dirty old slow moving river. There's places where it looks like it gets a little shallow. It's not particularly swift. And then there are places where it looks more swollen and deep. The average, across is probably 100 yards in places at its widest. It's fairly large in places, but then there's some grassy or forested little islands or growths in the middle, rocky outcroppings here and there as it winds its way. And again, the water is flowing back in the direction you've come, back to the kind of the northwest as you make your way, winding along. Pretty much a quiet day. I don't know, anytime you want to roll perception or survival, Quinliver, again, you're doing so with advantage as you have the assistance of what you call it, Fandle Penlock with you.
Well, in that case, we'll just say that's a 24.
Yeah. Um, Again, the flora and fauna. You've seen a few game trails. Maybe you spotted the white flash of a deer, its rump. The white tail as it bounds away. You've seen chipmunks and squirrels and bunnies and maybe some turkey here and there. So you know that this and you know this about the Minnow Wood. It's full of life. Some of it good, some of it non-predatory, some of it not so good, some of it quite sentient and evil by legend and tale. There are crypt, old ruins of maybe a tower from a wizard or an arcane archer, for instance. And just all manner of hazard and interest. But again, it's a pretty unexplored part of the world. And you slowly make your way southward along the river. One thing I think is important to note is it's a cool day, and it's so humid you feel like you could almost tangibly grab a handful of the air. And then it gets over that tipping point and begins to drizzle and drop rain down through the canopy, which tells you as a forester, Quinliver, that it's probably raining pretty steadily, pretty heavily outside the forest if enough water is coming down that it's getting through the canopy and dropping to the forest floor enough to over a couple of hours time to thoroughly dampen the three of you, which is not adding to the pleasantries of the journey. At lunchtime, Fandle will stop and he'll pull out a like a box. Looks like it's made of wood. Got a little leather fastening mechanism between a couple of hooks, and he unhooks it, opens it up, and you see in there he's got vials and little pouches, some sticks and twigs and bits of leaves and all that. And he goes, this is a great day for some rockhound tea. Who likes them? It'll warm your insides. It increases your awareness, kind of heightens your senses. Perfect on a shit ass rainy day like we got today.
That sounds great. I love tea.
And so he sets about, by some miracle, by your reckoning, making a small fire with everything being damp and rained upon, and produces a little kettle, draws some water from the river, and he's fussing about with this. Quinliver, you'd probably recognize this as an herbalism kit. I think maybe you have one, or you've probably people in your clan do. It's unique to Rockhound. It has the same, he's got that kind of that wooden breastplate sort of. It's almost like thick bark fashioned over his slate colored leather studded armor. That same tree insignia is also carved into the lid of this herbalism kit, and he's making a tea. He's got 3 wooden cups that he's pulled out of his pack. He's got this combination of herbs, and he takes a little kind of a pestle, like like a mortar and pestle. I think pestle's the smasher thing, right? Or is that the mortar?
No, it's
okay.
No, you get it right.
So he's grinding up these herbs in this little mortar and pestle, and then he puts 3 equal amounts in these little like sachet, little sort of baggy things, and then once that water boils, he pours the water over the top of that in each cup and just let that soak a few minutes. But to make sure you take that bag out before you drink your tea, because you don't want to eat none of that. You just discard it into the forest. It'll be fine. It's good. Clears the head, fills you full of vitality, and again, it'll help kind of brighten your senses out here in this dull, dreary ass rainy day.
Wow, that sounds great.
And so after maybe 5-6 minutes, each of you has this cup of tea steeped. Very strong, minty, pungent, eucalyptus-y sort of aroma. Very strong as the steam wafts off of your tea. And you see him just fetch the little sachet out and throw it in the bushes. And he drinks it down. And it's got a little bitterness to it, a little bite. But that is kind of countermeasured by the minty eucalyptus. You know how eucalyptus kind of opens your sinuses and your chest, kind of almost like a Vicks Vapo Rub, mentholyptus, kind of a sensation. Very nice. And you immediately feel like you hear better, you see keener, your energy takes a spike. And so, for the duration of the day, for any sort of survival, perception, and initiative, you may add 2 to your rolls.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, the Rockhound, you should sell this.
I don't think I haven't.
Oh yeah, because I think people would really like this.
Yeah, I call it my energy tea.
Yeah. You could make a lot of money.
Well, I don't have a need for too much coin, except when I'm in at the keep or in town. I get all I need here from the woods most of the time, and other places I've been visiting.
Well, I hear you, but no one's ever been hurt by having too much money.
Well, unless you can't carry it or it collapses on you.
Oh. Yeah, I guess, but still, more money's good. I'm not a greedy fellow myself, but anyway, you could help a lot of people and make some money. That's all.
For sure. Roll perception as you're kind of huddled around your small campfire. A little smokier than you would probably prefer, Quinliver, given the desire to kind of go undetected, somewhat discreet through the forest here.
And then we had another plus 2.
Add a +2 to your rolls, yeah.
So I got a 17.
16.
Okay. See perception. Okay. Quinliver, you notice just on the outside of this little clearing where you've been sipping tea and telling tales and maybe eating some dry hardtack lunch, you notice leaning over the fire, almost over your shoulder, you see this limb wasn't there. You're confident it was not there just even a few moments ago, and it's got these big, flat, almost spade-shaped leaves coming off of it, and white flowers in full bloom, and you get that sense going up the back of your neck that someone's watching you or too close for your liking.
So like tree limb?
Yeah.
Reaching over?
And it almost looks like it's over the fire.
And I'm going to turn around and look behind me.
As Quinliver says, Blarg, you kind of look up startled, Rockhound the same, and you see Rockhound's eyes, Quinliver, get really big. And Blarg, what's your reaction as you see behind Quinliver that you'd swear wasn't there maybe even 3 minutes ago, a very large, full, towering catalpa tree. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, but it's a big deciduous tree. It's got big spade-shaped leaves, branchy, and it's in full white bloom, covered in white flowers, and it appears to be leaning over Quinliver, and you would swear it's almost like it's trying to get its branches up over the fire to perhaps enjoy the warmth of the fire.
Since it's like the woods that I live in, do I recognize this as perhaps a treant of some kind?
Roll a nature check for me, please.
Nature check, you say?
Yep, and you can use the +2, and you can roll at advantage because Rockhound is also like,
oh
man, I've seen one of these before. Yes, sir. And he gets a big grin on his face.
Yeah, that's an 18.
Yeah, you recognize 18. This as you stare at it, that a smile begins to widen across its trunk where a face might be, and you see this jagged, slitted eyes, mossy, bushy kind of eyebrows, and it kind of leans back. Oh, what an interesting group we have here. We have a furbolg, and we have a goblin. I'll be keeping my eye on you, little green man. An old rockhound. Whoa! What brings you here? And thank you for the warmth. Yeah. This is a catalpa tree that appears to be a Trent, treant, ent,
I'll say, well,
tree
howdy,
folk.
tree feller. I'm Quinliver Woodgirder, from the Woodgirders for bogs that girds these
Oh,
woods.
sure, yeah, yeah, I know you. I remember when you were first born.
I
Seen
don't.
many of your clan come and go over the eons. Um, Tamarix, perhaps tender blossom in your language. And he kind of shakes the white
Oh,
flowers, and a couple of the petals fall down. And as this introductions are occurring, you see Rockhound get up, and you see an expression on his face you've not seen before. Normally kind of gruff, sullen, cranky, overconfident, know-it-all kind of guy, a little blustery. Gets this big warm smile on his face, and he kind of gives a good belly laugh, and he hops up and he runs over and he attempts to hug the tree, but because he's a gnome and this tree is really large, he's unable to get his arms anywhere remotely close to around the girth of the trunk of this large catalpa tree. And the tree kind of shakes, and you see some of the limbs, wrap around Rockhound as they embrace. And you hear Rock, oh, it's good to see you, old friend. It's been a while. And the Tender Blossom says, oh, it has. Little gnome man, are you keeping yourself well, killing orcs? He's probably been busy lately. Seen some of them come through here not long ago, in the last few months, actually. Yeah. And Rockhound just kind of nods and grins and goes back over and sits across from Tender Blossom, who has now kind of moved around from behind Quinliver. And it just kind of, you see like tendrils, roots, as it kind of just shimmies across the ground and leans over the fire, warming, drying off his leaves.
I'm going to say to the Rockhound, I'm going to say, hey, I think you need to be careful about what kind of herbs you're putting in this tea.
What do you mean, Blarg?
Well, I'm seeing a giant talking tree right now.
Sure, that's old Tender Blossom. I've known him all my life.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. You drink a lot of this tea, you probably see him a lot.
Oh no, you could see maybe don't drink the tea. I've talked to lots of these fellers before.
Oh.
Oh, what is it, little goblin? Never see tree folk before.
Well,
You don't have an axe on you, I hope. He kind of looks at you suspiciously. At least it feels like
no,
he's looking at you suspiciously.
no, I'm no stranger to well, let me say this. I've never had a plant talk to me.
Oh, you've been missing out.
Had something attack me, but
Oh,
never.
well, as long as you're behaving in the forest and not up to any mischief like, you goblin folk can be, well, we won't have a problem.
Well, I don't like to paint with such a broad brush like that. Some goblins are pretty neat when you get to know them.
Well, you seem all right. And he kind of looks over at Quinliver and Rockhound for reassurance.
Oh yeah, no, this one's not an eating goblin. Yeah, no, this one's good. He's kind of like an associate of old Arthritis, the druid feller.
Ortress, you mean?
Yeah, isn't that's what I think I said.
Ortress, and this leafy branch kind of pats you on your head.
Yep, him. Yep, Arthritis. Yep.
So if you saw goblins, I mean orcs recently, did you notice anything strange about them? Were they traveling with any unusual creatures?
Well, he kind of leans back, and some of the roots kind of fold themselves as if they were his legs, and he kind of stretches his branches way out. You remember the opening scene to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where the guy's looking at the marketing mock-ups, and they're all like, because they got to catch planes and get the hell out of there. It's Friday afternoon, and they're in Manhattan. It's kind of that sense. He's like, well, Orcs and strangers, you say?
Yeah.
Well, mm, now that you mention that, yeah, a lot more than normal. I don't know how many's a lot or frequent, but yeah, yeah, seen some. Have you?
Well, I'm about to. But did these orcs that you saw, were they traveling with small creatures? You know, no bigger than me.
Oh, you know, it makes me think of dwarves. You never see dwarves and the orc folk traveling together, really, but here I've seen that happen last so often. That seemed odd to me.
So they were dwarves, you think?
Oh, I know they were dwarves for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Like your typical ordinary dwarf, or like
Yeah, from the
grayish
mountains
skin?
to the north.
Yeah,
But yeah,
where I farm.
we farm in the mountains to the north.
Yeah, eggplants. But that's another story. So but the dwarves are they normal dwarves, or they have gray kind of skins, or what do they look like?
They look like mountain dwarves.
Mountain dwarves. Okay,
You
so
know,
just
they do
normal.
mining and disturbing, disrupting everything, burning lots of wood. Their
Yeah,
forges
We don't like that.
don't really approve.
yeah.
But it just seems strange to me that they'd be traveling with orcs.
Like, but traveling with them, you think voluntarily, or were they prisoners?
Hmm. And he sits back again, and there's this long silence as he finally kind of sits back up. And it's amazing how this big tree can like bend as if it had a waist, sort of. Oh, well, I don't rightly know if they're traveling together or not, against their will, or but it must have been because orcs and dwarves hate each other, sworn enemies.
Yeah.
That is one of the things we here to figure out is why they're doing that, why they're coming through the woods, because we don't want them doing that.
No, we do not. We usually try to move them around and get them turned around and out of the woods as fast as we can.
That's what my clan does too.
We've had to kill a couple. Rockhound is like, oh yeah, that was very good. Yeah, I was glad to hear that. Some of them orcs come through here with those axes and just hacking and cutting and killing, and that just makes me crazy mad.
Axes is not meant for wood. The axes is meant for orcs.
Well, we love to be able to serve and provide heat and light, all of that, but they do it too much for no reason. They just cut things down to destroy. That's when we have to rise up, I say, and kill them and strangle them. And this dude like almost turns red, and the whole catalpa tree starts shaking, and Rockhound is like, fist bumping him, and
Nope, that's the only reason I carry an axe is I use it to axe the orcs to leave the woods. Axe them.
Hey, that's clever, Quinliver.
Thank you.
Let's see what you did there. We usually just beat him to death.
And he gets it, Bark. See, it is funny.
Yeah, you two seem to be on kind of the same wavelength, which is great.
Yep. Well, we're both home here in the woods, so
yeah. I can see why you live here.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure that the tree fellers, they was here first. They've been here a long time. I mean, Furbolg's been here a long time, but they've been here even longer. A way long time ago.
You might say they put down some roots here.
Oh, he's getting it. He's getting
And he
it.
claps his branches together and stomps his roots and almost falls over. He leans back so far, he's laughing
We're
so
gonna
hard.
make you a Knot City boy yet.
Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it.
So, are you all following some of these orc folk?
Well, we is trying to find some right now. That's right. If you happen to have any inkling of where they might be kind of around.
Oh yes, yeah. You're not far. There's a
Mm.
yeah. You head east from here, away from the river. Within 2 hours, you'd probably pick up their track. Passed through here day and a half ago.
That
Maybe
is good to know.
Maybe not quite.
I was asking some of the other trees that aren't quite as like talkative as you. You know, you're one of the special tree fellers, and the rest of the trees they just weren't real clear on how many or when. But they aren't real good at telling time. So
Time is well. Time is all relative. Could be our time. Could be years and centuries. And your time is you're so hasty and fast and brief.
yep.
Yes, sirree. Old Tender Blossom knows. Yeah, I think if you strike east, you run across their track. They make a mess cutting through the woods, so.
Hey, Mr. Tree, before you saw us, did you drink any tea? Tender Blossom. Before you saw us, did you drink tea?
Drink tea out of trees, don't drink tea. I drink good water from the earth.
I wonder if it gets
and Rockhound is like
contaminated by those tea bags we threw.
He kind of
no,
Rockhound hands him his cup and he takes a big smell. Oh, this won't hurt you.
No, I don't know.
This will wake you right up. Put hair on your chest.
Been quite pleasurable experience.
Well, if you make haste, you should be able to pick them up in the next day or so.
Yeah,
we is going to do that.
Yeah, thanks for the information.
Oh, and hey, if you happen to see like my ma or my pa or my ma's brothers or my pa's brothers or their brothers or sisters or their brothers,
he's got it.
Yeah,
he's got it.
Just tell them I say hi and that I'm doing okay.
Oh, well, for sure. Yes, sir, Mr.
And tell them that we're on the track of them. We're on the track of them orcs. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, you all be safe and take care and don't let your axes get too friendly in these here forest.
They're only here for the axes only like to talk to the orcs, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, yes, good. All right, well, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy this fire. It's cold.
Okay, see you later. Yeah.
Well, are you okay if we take off? I mean, we don't want to leave the fire unattended.
Oh, I'm here. You all pass along, then.
Okay.
I'll see to it.
Just don't get too close to it, okay? Because you is a tree.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
And he kind of reaches out and runs his branches softly over your head, kind of like a little head pats, and pats on the shoulder over all you guys. And yeah.
I'll give him a big old furball wave, and they will head east.
Very good. Yeah, in doing so, let me see something here real quick. Yeah, so you can break your little camp. And yeah, so he just cast Bless upon you. But it's like special Bless in that it has a 24-hour duration.
Sweet.
Nice.
So you've got the properties of the tea. And then 24-hour Bless.
We're like high AF now.
Yeah. And you take your leave of your new friend, or in some cases, in Rockhound's case, old friend, Tender Blossom, the Catalpa Treant. So you're going to head east away from the river and try to pick up the
Yeah, well, yeah,
trail?
I think
I'll
we
do
should do
that.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's a good idea.
Very good. Okay. So you begin to make your way. It rains. It rains a lot. It's wet. It's miserable. It's chilly. You feel soaked to the bone. Your occasional survival nature perception reveals nothing threatening, nothing out of the ordinary. Again, you see the occasional game trail. You might see where maybe the wolves have had a kill of like an elk or a deer. Just everything foresty. But you're not particularly on a track. You're traveling overland, generally east southeast, in the direction suggested by your new friend. After maybe 3.5 hours, I'm not even going to have you roll for this. You've been searching. You know what you're looking for. Rockhound can definitely spot it when he sees it. But you find a track. By track, I mean a path. And it's very easy to tell because of how wet things are, that there are booted feet, some larger than others. Um, and there are some small, softer booted footprints that are among the other harder booted feet. That it's kind of they get kind of tramply. It's hard to make them out clearly, but you can tell there are basically 3 sets of footprints in this track, and it's generally sort of a north to south track. It's darker, where the undergrowth has been trampled down. So this looks like a path that's been established. I wouldn't say like well worn for centuries type path, Quinliver,
Mm-hmm.
but things have passed this way on a regular enough basis that you could see where trees have been cut a little bit here and there, or limbs have been cut across so that they're not over the trail. Some of the underbrush hacked back, and it looks like there's a trail, a north-south trail, as you approach it from the west, traveling eastward. And Rockhound is immediately like, "Yep, these are orc boots." Yep.
I don't like the fact they've been making through here enough to make a trail.
Yeah, they look like they've been coming through over time. I wouldn't say every day, all the time, but enough to break it down, and it's been cut through and some purpose.
Yep.
Well, maybe we should start heading south. It looks like that's the direction they were going.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. So he said
we'll
we'd
head south.
probably pick up their trail pretty quick. If you want to roll, Quinliver, if you'd like to roll like nature or investigation to determine, maybe you can figure out, based on what you know and what you see, how many there are, what they are, how long it's been since they've passed.
The advantage or not?
With advantage, absolutely. Rockhound is, you guys are just going to town on this path.
Oh, 19 plus 3, 22.
Yeah. So the bigger boot prints are pretty clearly Orog. You're not surprised by that. There's also orc booted prints. And then you see, and it's hard to make these out because they must be in the middle of the group because they're mostly trampled on, but you see bits and bobbles of smaller footprints in and among. But it's hard. You never really get a whole footprint to determine what it is. But it stands out as being something not the same as the orc and orog prints. You can see older footprints pointing, in the direction of north, and fresher tracks that are within the day, heading south.
Does it look like the little footprints are being dragged, or are they? Can you tell? Are they walking?
It's hard.
normally?
There aren't any drag marks like heels or anything, straight line dragging going on. So that's tough to say. But the footprints all appear to be footprints versus drag marks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's head south. Maybe we should stay off the path itself. I don't want our footprints to be detectable. I don't want anyone else to know we were here.
That is some good thinking there.
Okay.
Well, I'm a mastermind.
What is that?
Well, I'm not always sure, but I know that we shouldn't have our own footprints on the path so that someone knows that we were here. Let's stay off of it.
Stick to the trees and go parallel to the path.
So if you guys want to go into Roll20 and drag your tokens onto the map, because that's exciting, right?
Ooh, yep. I see if I remember how to do it.
You could just grab your character sheet.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the path. Is that that's our gnome friend? I take it.
That's Rockhound. Yep. And he's on the path. That darker area is the path itself. And you can see from the map, this forest is pretty dense. It's tough to see through. You're getting a nice kind of a peek at a vertical look there.
So would it be too difficult for us to shadow the path?
You could stay just to the side of it. You just occasionally you might step on it to get around a tree or a rock. But yeah, you can basically do that as much.
I think that's what we'll do. We'll try to stay off of it as much as possible. I take it that like the Orog prints, are they as big as Quinliver's prints, or would his be a lot bigger than that?
His are they're probably comparable.
Well, so if worse comes to worse, maybe they'll just think it's another Orog and some dwarves or whatever these are.
Okay,
sure,
so
like my slippers leave.
Go ahead and move your tokens as you work your way.
Okay, so we'll sort of go this way down the path, trying to stay off of it as much as we can. And while we're doing this, while we're shadowing the path, I want to pay attention to the tracks and see if, I don't know, anything changes, anything looks different or
Sure.
something like that.
You can see ahead of you there, it kind of bends around to the right, heading more southward. And again, on this map, up is north. It kind of vanishes partially under a tree. You can see that big conifer.
Yep. Can we pick up where it goes? Or it just goes off this way, I take it?
Yeah, it's going to the south. These squares are 5-foot squares.
South.
Yeah, you can see where the trees are down. Like right down here where Quinliver is.
Right. Yep.
That's where the path is kind of picking up.
And then it sort of goes back the other way, the way we came?
Looks like it bends again, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it bends again, okay.
Blarg, as you get there, I'm going to just you guys keep rolling perception.
All right. Well, that's no good. So I've got a +2, and I don't know what 24-hour blast gives me. Does that give me another?
Bless, you can roll a d4, but it's for attack rolls and saving throws.
Okay, so it doesn't count. So I got a 5.
Okay. Yeah,
16.
Did you roll with advantage, Quinliver?
Oh, yep.
Because again, Rockhound.
I got less than a 16.
Okay.
So I'll take the first one.
You can add 2 to that if you wish, make it an 18.
That was okay.
But oops, you guys are off my other map here. Sorry, I'm managing a couple maps. There you are. You see to the west, through this path, what looks like, and you recognize this right away, and you hear a rockhound growl, and he says, back up, get down. Get down.
I'm gonna get down.
Stay sneaky behind a tree. You see that? And he points through the distance, and to the west of the path by about 25, 30 feet, you can see through the trees the outline of a structure that looks like a big old tent, like skin, like animal skin of some kind, and tree branches. Not a very nice tent. A roughly built tent. You can see just south of it there looks like there's an opening in the trail. What do you guys do?
Well, do we see anyone milling around that camp area?
You do not.
And do they look like, gosh, I don't know how to say it. The only word I can think of is portable. Are they like portable tents that they can pack up, or do they look like they're meant to be more permanent?
Oh, it looks quite rustic from what you can tell. And Rockhound is like elbowing you, like them are orc tents right there. There's an encampment.
Yeah.
He's like, it's getting dark. They must have already set camp. They ain't in no big particular hurry then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I think we found them, boys. And with that, we're gonna hit pause for the day.
Oh, good, because I need a couple weeks to think about it.
Because it's 3 hours. Yeah, we hit our 3-hour window. I can feel my wife looking at me from somewhere.
Yeah. I can too, oddly enough.
Yeah, so seems like you guys have come across what looks to be a camp of sorts. Hard telling. You know, it's getting dark and dim again.
Old orc
But that's where we're gonna park the bus. And this game will be back sometime next week maybe.
Oh my God! I only have a week to think about this.
Yeah. So next Sunday we're gonna try to play 2 weeks in a row, and then the channel will be dark for a week, and then little foreshadowing, a little excitement, coming back from the ashes. Will be another episode of Secrets of the Flaness.
Whoa!
If you recall, our party was accosted by none other than a black dragon in the deep bowels cave recesses of Kundrukar, deep in the Raker Mountains.
But it's canon that we defeated it
Like-
already.
Yeah.
Because Blarg's here.
Blarg seems to think, Blarg is actually in that party.
The
So
Black Weevil.
we've got a strange timeline, and Blarg thinks it's a black weevil, whatever that is. So yeah. So it looks like
stuff.
maybe you guys have found your quarry, perhaps.
Right.
Something.
Time to collect the pay.
Yep.
But there's no sign of anything, and it's quite quiet.
All right.
But we've made
Too
it to the
quiet.
map. You know, and the
Awesome.
DM busts out the map. There's got to be something good coming.
That's right.
So we'll be back next week with this one, episode 3, and we'll find out what our heroes may have discovered here with this suspicious tent randomly pitched in the middle of the forest randomly, coincidentally. But yeah, you definitely got the distinct impression from Rockhound that he's recognized what he's looking at. Like he's almost starts shaking and growling and damn old folk. Okay, well let's go around and have a quick outro. So Quinliver, tell us a little bit about whatever you want to say before we sign off.
Okay, well, I want to thank all of our fans for tuning in today. I am once again, I am Carl. I am Carnage on the Discord. If you want to see me, I am here as regularly as we do stuff. So every other week or every week or this here, there, everywhere. Whenever we're here, I'm here basically. So,
Yep.
and nope. This is an interesting little thing, just the 3 of us. But I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
Any excuse to roll dice and play D&D, right?
Pretty much.
All right, Blarg, Chris.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris, WikiBA on the Discord and Twitch, and I, of course, play Blarg, and I play Blarg in the Secrets of the Flyness game. Um, and love playing it. Love both great groups, both great games. Having a good time playing both, and I appreciate the ability to play, or the opportunity to play. I'm me and Blarg Jr., who's watching the stream today. We're heading to Gen Con. So if you see us at Gen Con, say hi, because we'll be there.
And Chris really likes big hugs.
I do.
You even had to ask. Just run up to him and glomp on him.
Lay one on me.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I'm Scott, Wily Hobbit, and I'm DMing this thing, and it's fun. And we're spinning a whole new tale. This is again, I used the Keep in the Borderlands to set the Keep Under the Eaves, but this is actually not a published module. We're just playing D&D, and we've got a little bit of a story arc based on some backstories, and we're trying it with 2 instead of 4, 5, or 6. So that's what we're doing. We'll be back next week with this game, barring any unforeseen, circumstances, and then a week off, and then the 30th of July, we will have Secrets of the Flyness. Then August is going to be tough. I've got stuff. I've got activities going. The first weekend of August, the second weekend of August. The third weekend, so August is going to be a little bit sparse, but after that it should simmer down a little bit. We'll get on the intention for this is to be on a somewhat regular. I hesitate to even say it. So we hope to see you again.
Except for August.
We will be back here next week, and then beyond that we'll see what happens. But, so everybody, thanks for hanging out. We're going to raid into Blue Box. They are playing in Erdi, which is a world created by Stephen Chenault over at Trollord Games. It's very, very cool. I play in an offline game. My home group game is in Erd, and it's really cool. So I'm going to hit the purple Start Raid button, and I think it's Cosplay Day over there as well. So we don't really have Cosplay Day. We just try to get online and play D&D, but we haven't graduated to that. But
I basically look like a goblin all the time.
there you go. Yeah, he's like real-time cosplay. So we're going to do it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out.
See ya.